How the fuck are you laughing at me?
Did you say blow me?
I said below me.
Oh, I thought you were like putting emphasis on the below me.
Nope.
Got it.
So let me run that back one more time.
I like that we're there already.
Oh my god! No! Oh my god!
All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 97 of 1 Million of the Serial Chillers podcast. I am here from the Super Network studio. 66.6 feet directly below me is Hella Greg. How goes it, Hella Greg?
I'm great, man.
Some more deja vu, though. I feel like we've had more of these than not in the intro of late.
It's okay.
You know, we're just out here having fun, man. Just out here having
We're doing
fun.
that.
So, fuck, man. This phone thing's fucking me up. Find us on everything if you can. Facebook is Serial Chillers Podcast. The Facebook group is Serial Chillers Podcast. It's closed. Wait for the mod squad to let you in. Instagram is at Serial Chillers Podcast. The Twitter, at Chillers Podcast. Email us, serialchillerspodcast@gmail.com. Call or text the show, 1-805-666-2513. serialchillerspodcast.threadless.com for all your merch needs, except stickers, where you get them at serialchillerspodcast.com. Please rate and review on everything. It's becoming of the utmost importance, apparently. So if you could, if you're an Apple user mostly, please get out there, give us those 5 stars only, rate that shit, review that shit, tell them how much you love it. If you hate it, instead of reviewing, just send us a direct message.
Just keep it to yourself.
I mean, we're open to it. We need the constructive criticism.
You gotta get the badge.
Just don't fuck up our ratings for it, you know?
Constructive.
Dude. Like that one guy, the 5-star guy, or girl. I forgot who it was. I'm not assuming gender.
Well, 5 stars are good either way.
Yeah,
Dude,
we'll take
yeah.
them.
We like that.
You don't even have to write a review. Just 5 stars.
Just
Good.
5 stars.
Yeah, it helps.
Just send the 5 over.
We appreciate that. Also, make sure to check out the Super Simpsons Show and Death & Co. podcast, also from the Super Network. Let me bring in a few guests here. I'm going to bring in our first timer first. Ooh. Welcome to the network and to the studio and to the show, Brittney.
Hey, it's nice being here with you guys. It's funny.
It's nice to have you. Be ready to hang out for like 2.5 more hours and do this.
I'm ready. Hey, I'm excited.
That's a minimum.
And let's talk about our good buddy to my left here. I think this is like his 5th time on the show.
Something. Numbers are, I'm not good at maths.
Well, welcome back, Jeff.
Thank you. So nice to be here.
Oh.
And let's talk about the dude who got bleeped a lot in the last episode. So we'll give him a chance to say what he needs to say this time and take it seriously. So from the bottom of our black hearts, we're sorry and welcome, Bobby Roberts.
Yo. The man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only. Hi, I'm Bobby.
That was
yo,
a
check it out.
self-intro.
I did it. I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. I'm coming straight
so
from
glad
LA
you made
now.
him stop
I appreciate
laughing
you more
too.
for it.
Dude, I had to do it. I've been, like, when I heard the last episode, I was like, I'm going to do this.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't like you when you walked in here. Now, we're awesome.
Dude,
You're awesome.
you know what? Hell yeah. Here, hit this. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
we just became best friends right now.
Positivity is in the air is what
karate in the
we're
garage?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so welcome back to the returners. Welcome to the first time, Brittney.
Yeah.
What's up?
All right, you guys know how the show works. Brittney really doesn't. She'll figure it out as we go. Let me explain it for let me explain it for anybody that doesn't. Each week, I sit down with old friends, new friends, good friends, and bad friends to tell them the story of an infamous serial killer. Throughout the show, you guys can chime in on my story, and if you brought a story of your own that is true crime, dark, creepy, unsolved, or otherwise mysterious, please feel free to share it. Lastly, if you have questions about questions, make sure to ask questions, because I cannot answer questions about questions if you never ask questions.
Satisfying. Oh, I love it.
Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
If you ask questions about questions, knowing that you only have questions as questions, do you ever find answers?
Welcome to and let's play the Serial Chillers podcast. Yeah, that shows you how many answers you're going to get tonight, Bubby.
I don't think that math tracks, though.
Don't pay attention
He
to it.
does
Just
that one breath single take. I don't know if anybody's ever pointed that out to the people listening, but the questions
Dude,
thing,
so
like,
sick.
you do that, it's straight. Like, he doesn't mess that up and
Ever.
then start over. He does it
Ever.
one
Thank
try
you. Thank you.
every
I don't
time.
even look at it anymore.
No.
I was switching over to the soundboard. It's
Cool.
thank
After
you.
I'm done editing it together, I'm gonna edit that part in at the end so it actually sounded like he did it in one take in one breath.
Oh, you fucker.
Oh, sound effects.
Yeah, we got him.
I love it.
Very fancy.
Yes.
This
yes.
show evolves.
Dude.
Those are for the Simpsons show mostly.
But they're here now.
Yeah, they're
and
here.
that's what's important.
Okay.
Hey, hey.
Have no fears, we've got stories for years.
This is a completely different show.
Dude.
You should listen to the Simpsons show. Name a better crossover moment right now.
Flintstones, Jetsons,
Fuck!
Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron.
Rick and Morty, Futurama, Simpsons.
Ocean's
You know what sucks about-
2020 and freaking
He's like,
Space
the
Cadet.
Jetsons, like, you'll never see it again. Like, you'll see it again, but, like, you'll never see it like you saw it
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That
You
intro
know, it's
was
just like,
prime.
wow, that's the future. And now you're like,
We barely got Teslas.
All right. Today's killer is Charles Ray Hatcher.
okay.
Have you guys heard?
Just now.
Brett.
Just now.
Wait, but I read a book called The Hatchet. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that might give me some deets.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's not,
Okay,
but
I
hey,
was hoping.
that's him right there. This fucker right here.
Dude.
That's Charles Ray
He
Hatcher.
looks like one of my ex-girlfriend's dads.
I like that we can.
Yeah.
Question number one.
Whoa.
was
You
quick.
were
That-
In what year
Not even gonna.
was
Okay,
Charles
here we go.
Ray Hatcher born? You guys got a little bit of a preview. I gave that to you with the photo, I feel
Okay.
like. Was it turned to black and white just now, though?
I don't
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
I
Now
didn't
you're
really get
throwing
to
me
see his
off.
haircut very well. So
I can see
I'll go back to it after we answer
No,
this. So,
I-
closest to the answer gets 250 points, 1,000 if you nail it. So just give me a year. What year was Charles Ray Hatcher born? Or for
I-
Robbie, in what year
Thank you.
was Charles Ray Hatcher born? Oh, it's for Bobby and Robbie.
No, I love it. I remember I got mad that one time you didn't do it high enough.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just not feeling that good. Okay.
Well, you need to feel it. 'cause
Shows
you-
a lot of strain, Bobby.
Can I ask one question though? Because you said I can ask questions.
Yeah.
Just a totally irrelevant.
But you only get one. And
Okay.
it's for the
Okay.
show.
Everybody gets one.
What
Tell 'em, Peter.
year was Al Capone in like the Alcatraz like really hot?
20s.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll answer that question for you. I'm fairly confident that I'm correct.
Okay. All right. Cool. All
Right, please fucking help me.
He's fact checking right now.
All right, everybody got an
on
answer
your
written down?
Yep.
All
Yeah, I
right.
got one.
Bobby, what'd you say?
1930. Just to be safe.
1930. Brittany,
1975.
75.
I said 1908.
1908.
Son of a bitch, she's gonna win this.
He was born July 16th, 1929.
Look at these fucking gains. Let's
Oh
go.
my god.
So Bobby has gains on the first rep here, and it's going to take
Yes.
a 200. I believe we have
Weird
18 questions today.
Okay.
So don't burn yourself out with all the gains, Bobby.
Yeah, weird actual flex, but okay.
Okay.
I did
Oh,
actually.
I couldn't
flex.
see it, so I couldn't
Nope.
say it.
Ah.
See something, say something. I missed both.
My doctor said not to flex anymore.
My doctor says I can't run or my ankles will shatter.
He's like, that actually wasn't a joke.
I have glass bones and paper skin.
I don't even know why I'm here.
I can't afford the shirts.
Okay, so he's born July 16th, 1929. Charles Ray Hatcher was born 4 p.m., 34 miles north of St. Joseph in Mound City, Missouri. Anybody from Mound City, holler at me because
I was just going to say Mound City is probably the best city name that we've run across on here yet.
it's definitely the easiest to pronounce. Thank you for
Mound
not being an upstate New York name. We
Still-
did some.
still-
Yeah, you had a
Mound
real
City
battle. You had a battle that other time.
Yeah, we also did
With
Elizabeth Bathory.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Or Bathory. Sorry, somebody told me I was wrong.
I think we're just waiting for it now. They're like, I can like email him.
Okay, so he's born in Mound City, Missouri. He was the youngest child of three brothers, Arthur, Jesse Jr., and Floyd. His parents were Jesse and Lula Hatcher. It's a real great name his dad had, I gotta say. Spring of 1935, coming at you quick. Question number 2. He would watch his brother die this spring.
Oh, this is some Johnny Cash shit.
How did his brother die? Dewey, you halved me. Did he accidentally shoot him? I should have put halved on here. Fuck. He was electrocuted, he was hit by a truck, or he drowned in a nearby river. How did he watch his brother die?
Okay.
Dark guys, I know.
No, I love it. Yeah, go for it. Lay that shit down.
You have a 1 question lead. There's 18 questions.
Yo, you gotta get the lead now. Trust me, dude, weird stuff happens, bro.
Yeah, like you never scoring another question right.
And then I get 1,000 somehow.
He's trying to get inside their head, though. It's the Dennis Rodman defense.
All right,
There you go.
Crazy hair, hands up, yelling at every shot. Everybody got an answer?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, what'd you say?
I said hit by a truck.
Hit by a truck.
I said he drowned in a nearby river.
Drowned in a nearby river, Bobby said.
For the sake of the serial killer, I said, hey, he accidentally shot him.
Accidentally shot.
See, I didn't. My mind didn't do the finger quotes,
I
and so
was
that's why
thinking-
I didn't go with that one.
Well, no, I was
should
thinking,
have done the finger quotes.
What if he accidentally shot him and then he was like actually just like completely null or like
He was like, oh,
To
I
death.
didn't
He's
mind
like,
that.
yep, this
Yeah.
is what I need. I need more of this.
or he just got a boner and he was like, oh my gosh.
You went to the boner. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a grown
I didn't
boy.
want to be the first one, so we're there, and that's
Yeah,
fine.
it could
I
happen.
think if he did shoot him, he was just trying to help him out. Like if you shoot yourself with small caliber bullets, you can build up an immunity.
Well, I like the
For
theory.
real? Don't try this at home.
Like bee stings.
I like the theory, but
Damn, no.
Charles Ray Hatcher
No.
watched his older brother, Arthur Allen Hatcher, die of electrocution.
Oh, no one got it.
Nobody scores any points on that one. And you guys got everyone but the right
Damn.
one.
You went some like Drowning River was like some scary movie thing you thought of, huh?
I have no idea. Look, I'm really good at this, Bobby. This is the 97th episode.
I don't know if you noticed. This is kind of his thing.
I saw a little bit. It's not like I watched it. I listened to every episode.
Okay, so he watched his brother get electrocuted. The brothers were flying a kite and using kite string. Instead of using kite string, they were using copper wire. Found in an old Model T Ford. Arthur was about to hand the kite to Charles when all of a sudden it hit a high voltage power line and electrocuted him. Arthur was pronounced dead at the scene.
Last thing he said was, "Look at me, I'm Ben Franklin." Here, you hold it.
It's weird that the time period and string wasn't readily available, but copper wire was. I feel
It
like
was the hottest thing around at the time.
Yeah, because there weren't any fucking meth heads to steal the copper
Yeah,
wire.
bro.
oh,
Well,
bro, it's true.
it's at
Different
the tail end
times,
of the
different
Great
times.
Depression, so like all the cars are dead on the side of the road, dead. in
They're
fields
just taking
and
the
stuff.
copper wire out.
The best part about that comment is that somebody is listening to this somewhere and has no idea what the connection between meth heads and copper wire is.
Yeah, they're not
They don't
also
live in Fresno.
from
Back
like
to the
Fresno
serial
or
killers.
Ohio.
Yeah, but you know, there's somebody in Iowa who's going, "Yes,
Exactly.
so right."
I
I
watched
don't
the
even
whole
have
spool last
Street
summer.
lights in my town anymore. They just took them down.
None of the lights work. Nothing works. No, this whole town has no electricity.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so in 1945, Charles is now 16, and he moves with his mother and her third husband to St. Joseph, Missouri. So pretty uneventful between like 6 and 16, other than the fact that his mom gets divorced and married again twice. So I'm not saying that can't be traumatic, but there are like usually when a killer's been caught and they've got to talk about their life, they're like, well, my bitch mom got divorced twice and that really fucked me up. Like, this isn't something that comes about again. So I'll mention it. His
We'll
mom
write a
is on her
song
third
about
husband, but he seems to have just been kind of going along with it and moving along.
He got
with
the
his
night
mom.
moves,
She
bro.
was- Yeah.
The night.
Hey.
Okay, so he moved with his mother to St. Joseph, Missouri, and in 1947,
Missouri.
at 18 years old, question number 3. He'll get his first job. What will he be doing? Will he be A, emptying the trash cans at the fairground, B, resetting bowling pins, C, making coffee, or D, waxing floors?
18. He's 18.
Yeah, let's get our 32 and up fans a little bit of play there.
Shout out to all the millennials and older.
We talked about that earlier.
Yeah, we did actually.
47.
The ones we belong to. That's perfect.
All right, was he emptying trash cans at the fairground, resetting bowling pins, making coffee, or waxing floors?
I know.
I got it.
I know this one for sure.
This one, I feel it. I
They
feel
got
it.
this.
I feel
I
it.
can already tell you which one it is. Boom,
Jeff
goes up.
feeling very confident, and let's see his answer.
I said, "Beh."
B. Resetting bowling pins. What'd you say, Brittney?
That's what I
anyone
put too.
Also
B.
resetting bowling pins.
Yeah.
Bobby, what'd you say?
I actually said B too, dude. Come on. Yeah, dude.
Triple B's resetting the bowling pins. You
He
guys
looks
feel
like a
like in
pinhead.
1945 he couldn't be doing anything else but resetting bowling pins.
I just feel like it would be enough to drive people mad. Like
Making
the
coffee
pretend-
in that no. Come
I
on.
don't know. You might be surprised.
Well, you're all scoring points because, yes, indeed,
knew
in 1947,
Sorry.
in St. Joseph, Missouri,
You
his
can't
first
flex
job
on all of us.
will be setting bowling pins at the bowling alley.
He looks like a guy who worked at a bowling
See,
alley.
but they didn't have the technology like they do nowadays, so they had to like lay him down and strap him in a harness, and he had an armful of bowling pins, and there were two guys behind the scenes who would pull a rope, and he would lower down
It took 3
Set
men
the-
back then.
and set the pins down real fast.
In
and then they pulled
1954,
back up. The important thing is I had an onion tied to my belt, which was the style at the time.
He would
we
just
couldn't use 20 because
slide
the
back
crowd
and forth
stole
on
it.
rails that overlooked the pins and just oh, boom,
Damn.
Dang. I kind of like
I
a
actually like that.
like a badass librarian on the ladder.
like a library ladder but horizontal. And
I like that.
He's got like a lollipop in
maneuverable.
his mouth, and he's got low glasses, and
Yeah,
he's just kind of like
a
slick back
cigarette the
head.
whole time,
Yeah,
sweat
there you go.
beads, but
Dang.
it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter. Nobody's getting strikes.
And then, like, when
because
they
of
do a
it.
movie version of it, it's going to be Brad Pitt.
I would
Oh
be
yeah,
Tom Cruise.
I want Tom
Or
Cruise.
Zac Efron.
I feel like that's a Tom Cruise
What
thing.
was that, Greg?
A bandolier of bowling pins,
Yeah.
just
Oh, okay.
strapped across his chest. He pulls them out two at a time.
Propels himself with disinfectant spray.
The shoe spray?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. In fall of 1947, at 18, he received his a job hauling logs for the Iowa Missouri Walnut Company. The job only lasted 2 weeks, and he left after a shift one day with the truck. So he just bounced. He was like, hey, you know, I don't like this job, but I do like this truck.
Oh shit!
So he takes off, and on October 9th of 1947, the company reported that one of the trucks had been stolen. Hatcher brought the company truck back that next morning, and he was intoxicated at the time and admitted to stealing the truck. So he's like, well, what is it? I fucking took it. It's back. Look, it's all in one piece, and what are you going to do about it? Like,
I even put some gas out of the tank.
Yes, dude.
so he was convicted of his first crime at this time, which was auto theft in St. Joseph, Missouri, and
GTA.
received a 2-year suspended sentence. On February 5th of 1948, Hatcher received another job at the St. Francis Hotel in St. Joseph, Missouri, washing dishes and doing other odd jobs. Convicted of auto theft for a second time for stealing a 1937 Buick in St. Joseph, Missouri, he was sentenced to 2 years in a Missouri State Penitentiary. February 7th of 48, he was received at the prison for the first time. So he's 2 years suspended. He ended up serving no time, actual time for it. This sentence, he is going in.
Oh snaps!
Yep. And in June 8th of 1949, so we're like 15 months later, he's going to be released from prison after serving less than 3/4 of his sentence. On October 10th of 1949, he's going to be convicted of forgery for a $10 check.
He's like 21 at this time, right?
Yeah, Greg, look, I did your job. I'm sorry. Question number 4, how much would that $10
Oh my
in
gosh.
1949
Greg do this a
be
couple
worth
times.
today? Let's see if here's the thing, is I used a website that I'm not sure if Greg uses. So I'm gonna let Greg pull it up on the website that he officially uses to get these answers.
Okay.
And if somebody nails either of ours, I'll give it to you. But for the closest, we're gonna use the one I have written down here. Does that sound fair? So
Yeah.
if Greg somehow differs from this in the end, but you somehow nail that,
Yeah.
I'll give you either if you can nail mine or his. So how much is that $10 worth? Closest to the answer gets 250 points. 1,000 if you can nail it.
All right. Hell yeah.
How much would that be today?
1949 to
I
2019.
think I got something. But this guy sounds so familiar. I know where he's from.
Yeah,
GTA 3, bro. He's the
Mound
copper
City,
guy.
Mound City, Missouri.
Dude, no, he's the
Trevor?
cover guy. Yeah, no, dude, no. GT3. The first Grand Theft Auto, the cover guy looks just like this guy.
Man, I don't remember the story.
Oh.
All right, does everybody have
Okay,
answers?
So, I'm saying $23.50.
$23.50 from Bobby.
I think it would.
You got yours, Brittney?
I think I went a little high, but I said 10,000.
$1,000.
She litty fitty.
She's shooting her shot, dude. Shooting her shot.
Go big or go home.
You know,
You're making her feel like she's down by 1,000 points, so you know.
Shotty tsunami, dude.
She made.
Oh my god, that's great. I love it. She want that paper.
$80.
Ooh.
Jeff says $80.
After some quick math.
So, Greg, what's the total that your website gives?
I got 107.60.
I got 107.46. So Jeff will be getting 250 points on this one. That's cool. It's only a 14-cent difference. What website do you use for future ref?
The one I usually use is called In Today's Money.
Okay.
But this one is from the U.S. inflation calculator.
Oh, the real deal. I think the one I used was called In 2013 dollars.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that it?
That's the one I usually use. Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of like a beige background and a little green button that you click.
$100. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff's got 500, Brittany's got 250, Bobby has 500 points. Plenty of fucking time left, guys. And now if you're ever in a situation in life where somebody's like, yo, Brittany, in 1949, how much was $10? We're going to be like, $108, dumb bitch.
Definitely not 10.
I was like, it's all right. It was a dumb beat for one time. Then I learned.
She's a quick learner.
Okay, so on March 18th of 1951... Oh, sorry. For that 107.46, no, it's $10. For the $10 bad check, he is sentenced to 3 years in Missouri State Penitentiary. So for that $10 bad check, it's obviously his third crime too, but he's sentenced to longer for that than he is for either two of his auto thefts, which I thought was kind of funny.
Which is the car is way more expensive.
gonna say
$10.
Passing $10 checks. But at the same time, it was his third crime. So
Okay. He's got that third strike.
yeah, I mean, that's not a thing yet, but
It's not a
you know,
thing yet.
It is figuratively.
and in like 45 years, it will be
And like,
realistically.
well, spiritually too.
Shut up, Bobby. In March 18th, 1951, he escapes from prison, but was caught and received an extra 2 years for his escape. While he was out, he also attempted burglary, which set off giving away his area, which got him caught again and had the extra 2 years added because he just, he had to make some money somehow, you guys. What's he going to do? I just got out of prison, man. I can't get a job. You mean you just got out? No, like I just broke out. But whatever, man. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm out now. So you want me to sell these cars or what, fucker? So after serving his additional time, he was released from prison on July 14th, 1954. He's 24 years old now, if you're keeping count.
Okay, cool.
Spent a lot of time in prison in his young years, it seems.
He's building a character.
February 5th of 1955. It's about a year of being clean or not being caught. Hatcher stole a 1955 Ford in Orick, Missouri. He was then sentenced to 4 years for the car theft, and during his imprisonment at Ray County Jail in Richmond, Missouri, Hatcher received an additional 2 years for another attempted escape. On March 18th of 59, he's released from prison for the 5th and 6th sentences of his career. On June 26th of 59, Hatcher attempted to abduct a 16-year-old St. Joseph newspaper boy. So you guys, you're gonna catch his type like right now. And let me just tell you, everybody listening too, 16 is kind of the top of his age range.
Oh,
So
That's gross.
fuck
yeah.
face alert.
So yeah, 100% fuckface.
Dude,
June 26th of 1959, Hatcher
you're
attempted
acting like you don't
to
even care though.
attempted to abduct a 16-year-old St.
Don't worry
Joseph
about it.
newspaper boy. He threatened the young boy with a butcher knife, making this the first recorded violent crime in his life. So he's stolen cars, he's passed off bad checks, but now he's like trying to abduct 16-year-old boys with butcher
upping his game
knives.
up in a weird direction.
It's escalation at its finest.
Can just steal bigger cars or something?
The boy reported, yeah, give me that big rig, baby.
Yeah, that was four. Is that 4 or 5?
This makes me feel nice. The boy reported the crime, and Hatcher was arrested when the police stopped him in a stolen vehicle and realized that he was the one that the boy described. Question number 5. How long would he get for the kidnapping and auto theft? So this is like his 5th auto theft.
And this is 1956.
1959. That is correct.
Okay, how long will he get for the kidnapping?
That is correct.
You can't do that when he's after little
Yeah,
boys.
so closest to the answer gets 250 points, 1,000 if you could nail it. He's got 2 crimes. One is an attempted abduction, and
Haven't got any good news from the newspaper boy lately.
call me back, piggly sumbitch.
I love that's my favorite line from him. Damn.
So the actual charge is going to be kidnapping too. So
Okay.
it wasn't an attempted kidnapping. They gave it a kidnapping charge because he grabbed the kid and whatever, he moved him 10 feet or whatever. So kidnapping and auto theft. How long is it going to be?
This pin messed up on me. Just change pins.
This is 1959.
1959.
That is correct.
And then we don't know anything about his religious or like anything like that. But we clearly know that he is.
He may have grown up Christian, but his mama wasn't Christian enough to not have 3 husbands. You know what I'm saying?
She could have been Mormon.
It's a fixed sentence. So yeah, just give me a single number that you believe. I will give you that. It's not a range. Give me a
Single number?
single number for your amount of time. Yeah,
All right.
not a range.
All right.
So I don't even know why I'm writing it down. I could just tell you.
Days,
Yeah.
months, or years. Well, I like to know that everybody's written it down so no one's changing their answer later. Jeff says 10. Brittany said
I said 10.
10 as well.
I said 10, yo.
What the fuck? Everybody
literally
said
wrote 10,
10.
Wait, which?
So do you guys all want points or do you guys all not want points?
Okay, hold on. I'll take 7.
You'll take 7?
So we're redoing it?
I'll just take 7.
I'll take 5 then.
Damn you.
I'm going to go with giving everybody their original answer. I'm going to give
Yeah.
you all 250 points.
I wasn't exactly sure what was
Yeah,
happening.
I don't know. I
yeah.
thought like he wanted us to change.
Oh,
it up.
Bobby was trying to run the show, you know. I can't wait to hear his podcast coming out 2020.
shit.
No, okay. 250 points for everybody because it was 5 years. That's why I couldn't do it. She nailed it. I would feel wrong for giving her a G bar for nailing it on the second try. So 250 points for everybody for all guessing 10. That's very weird. Yeah, they only gave him 5 fucking years.
Damn.
For what they deemed to be a kidnapping and another auto theft, because they didn't even like pull him over going like, oh, there's that attempted diddler and kidnapper. They were like, hey, there's that stolen car. Pull this motherfucker over. And they pull him over and they're like, oh, this guy looks like that fucking kid diddler kidnapping motherfucker.
You trying to steal kids too?
Yeah, you stealing cars and kids? So he's sentenced to 5 years in the Missouri
butcher
State.
knife in there.
Yeah, I seen it.
He probably didn't even serve that time fully either.
He ain't here, Ted. The Missouri State Penitentiary is where he will serve the time for the attempted abduction and auto theft under the Habitual Criminal Act. On November 21st, 1959, he's 30 years old. Hasn't got a whole bunch going yet, but, you know, it's never too late to start, you know. On November 21st, he was waiting to be transported from the Missouri State Penitentiary, where he attempted to break out of the Buchanan County Jail and was unsuccessful. One for three. You know what I'm saying? It's still decent. If it were a batting average.
I mean, to be fair, like he might as well keep trying though, because what are they really gonna do? They're gonna put his name in the computer system at the prison? No, it's fucking 19 dickety whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
They give him a tally mark.
He really, if as soon as he gets outside those prison walls, he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been a cool time to try to disappear, man.
Shawshank Redemption, dog.
Fucking impossible now. I've tried. What?
Uh-oh,
4
he
days
outed
later, on
himself.
November 25th, 1959, Hatcher arrived at the Missouri State Penitentiary for his 4th tour at the prison.
Damn.
Yeah, he dumb. At this point, Hatcher was starting to state his claim as being the most notorious criminal in the northwest of Missouri since Jesse James. What's up, y'all? I stole like 5 cars and like tried to diddle a kid. What's up? What's up? What's up? Step at me.
Ain't nobody as bad as
That's
me.
definitely a weird flex.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, weird flex, but okay.
In this 100 square miles, I have been the fucking man.
I'm the best kickball player on this particular kickball field right here over at that one park over there.
not that one, but the one by the
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
the
but not
store.
on days where the
But
sun
not,
is out. I
but
kick
not
ass
when
more
the
when it's
Thomas
raining.
brothers are there because they kick it way too hard. My mom says I can't play with
And
them.
I don't got the shoes for it right now, so I can't really show you.
You know,
So.
my shoe will fly off.
See the way my accounts work.
My
That's
check-ins,
where I
my
was going to go
savings.
next too. I
Okay,
should
so
get a podcast.
should.
We should do it.
On July 2nd, 1961, Jerry Tharrington, a fellow inmate of Hatcher's at the penitentiary, was found raped and stabbed to death on the prison's kitchen loading dock.
Oh, damn.
Hatcher was the only one missing from the kitchen crew at the time of the murder and is believed to have committed the crime. Most believe, due to the discovery of the fact that he had been raped, that Hatcher would never admit to the crime for this reason. So he's going to admit to some crimes later.
Yeah, I killed him. No, I didn't rape him, though.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That was there before I got there.
Yeah, they must have done that before or after I was there.
No, I don't do the raping thing.
So for the rape and murder, he's already in prison. So what are they like? Hey, here's some more prison.
Time, yeah.
He never admitted to it, and they couldn't prove it. There wasn't enough evidence other than the fact that he was not there for roll call and on kitchen duty. So for the crime, what they believe to be the crime, he was sent to solitary confinement. Since there was not enough evidence to convict him in court, they just kind of punished him within the prison themselves. It's the only punishment available and was thoroughly utilized. He would spend over a year this time at solitary confinement. Hatcher, still in solitary confinement, January 18th of 1962, sent a note to the major at the penitentiary claiming that he realized he needed psychological treatment. Oof. However, the prison psychologist felt that it was all a scheme to get out of solitary and possibly out of prison early. Treatment was refused, and many believe that if he had gotten treatment, the remainder of his life may have gone in an entirely different direction. I don't fucking think so. At all. We'll see here.
Unknown.
I know a lot of people get upset about us. I shouldn't say a lot. People will get upset about us about, like, these are serial murderers. Some of them have, like, serious mental issues.
Yeah.
But our counter argument is always like, what percentage of people with that mental issue are serial killers?
Some of them are also just fucking
true.
assholes.
Yeah, and some of them
who
are
have mental issues.
Right, some of them just like aren't even fucking assholes
Some
and
people
have
come out
that
of it
mental
better.
issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
But solitary confinement, dude, and he was there for a while. That could actually break some stuff open. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I think there was stuff broken open
that's
early.
real.
I'm not
Well, fuck him
a
anyway.
professional,
He
man.
killed people and raped
I
people.
think it started when he watched his brother electrocute.
It probably did
Probably
not
did.
help.
Yeah,
and
probably.
and maybe it was like a little what Bobby said. Like he saw it and then realized, like, oh man, I'm
Maybe
not
he was
that
like,
sad.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
bro,
okay with this.
we could use a string for that guy, or we could use copper wire and play over here.
Yeah. Oh,
You
ooh.
go first.
You never know. We weren't there. He could have set everything up.
Dad said he liked you more, so it's time
Dewey,
to go.
you halved me. Wrong kid died.
Wrong kid died.
Oh, sorry, footsies.
Okay, so October 1962, he's returned to the general population in the prison, and his sentence was reduced to 3/4 the original time. So it feels to me a little bit like they were like, listen, psychological, like, why don't we just get him the fuck out of here and just, maybe he won't fuck up again.
Maybe he'll go to another state or county.
It won't be our problem anymore.
So on August 24th, 1963, he's now 34 years old and is going to be released from the penitentiary. On August 27th, 3 days later, he's going to confess to abducting a boy in Antioch, California. The boy was riding down the street on his bicycle and had a tennis racket with him. Hatcher told the boy to take a ride with him. However, drove the boy to a creek and manually strangled the boy. So that's that. 2 days later, a 6-year-old Hispanic boy was reported missing from his home at 5 p.m. in San Francisco, California. The boy had last been seen walking away with a man that offered him ice cream, as reported by the 6-year-old girl that he was playing with. The boy was found by a man walking his dog in the middle of a sexual assault and beating from another man. Police arrived in time and arrested the man, who couldn't answer any questions except saying that his name was Albert Ralph Price. The identification found on him was for a man named Hobart Prater. Or Hobert? I don't know. The boy survived. Who fucking cares? This guy's a fucking asshole. Sorry to everybody else with that name. That's not one.
That was intense.
FBI records finally would identify the man as Charles Ray Hatcher.
Ooh, what a dick.
Yeah. So September 12th, 1969, Hatcher is still going by the name Albert Price, denying, the DNA evidence. Not DNA, fingerprints. He is also brought before a judge in California for the charges of assault with attempt to commit sodomy and kidnapping. He gets psychiatric evaluations and determine his competence. And on September 25th of 69, a complete mental evaluation during a 90-day stay at a California state hospital was ordered after Hatcher was completely unresponsive during his preliminary evaluations. Question number 6. Why was he silent during his preliminary hearing? So he's in his preliminary hearing for a serious crime, and the judge is talking to him, and he's like,
Because he plead the fifth.
I played the fifth. So was it A? He was really fucking crazy. B, he was in shock. C, he was trying to fake that he was crazy. Or D, he just didn't want to talk.
Damn, you are good at this.
And the only reason I made this a question is later he's going to say, yeah, this is what I was doing, and that's how it is. Am I like he's fucking crazy guy.
He's crazy,
Or is he?
my guy.
Or is he?
Damn it, you do that. Oh, damn it.
Oh, or was he just in shock? Who knows?
Who knows?
He hasn't been in a court case for anything so serious yet.
Yeah, but he did. You know.
Okay.
Cool.
Maybe gave you some hints. Maybe threw you off the track a little bit. Does everybody have answers written down?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Let's see it. What do you got, Bobby?
I got C, bro.
C. He's just trying to fake that
He's
shit.
faking that shit.
Brittney says
D.
D. He just didn't want to talk. Jeff said
I also said D.
I just
Oh.
don't want to talk to you. Bobby's gonna get 250 more
Yeah,
points because
boy.
the act is on.
Yeah, 'cause he wanted that plead, like, for the-
the prison was correct initially.
Yeah.
To think that he was faking it when they didn't want to treat him.
Yeah, but he wanted that to get less time, right? And get an easier
But
time.
that's for him. The act is on. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and just fake it all from now on and
Let's
just try
go.
to lengthen this out or shorten it out as much as I can.
An actor.
So Bobby's got 1,000, Jeff's got 750, Brittany's got 500. Everybody still well within striking distance.
I had to look all.
He tried to
all
like UFC like me, and I'm just like,
You were like staring across him like a beginning of a Tekken match
What's
or
up,
something.
I
man?
was like, oh shit.
choose your fighter.
That was supposed to be way more aggressive, but it was so nice and docile. Choose your fighter.
Choose it, bro.
Choose it.
But like, hey, if you don't, it's cool. We could just chill and watch YouTube.
Totally not having a winning time right now.
So, this is the first time Hatcher is going to admit to faking mental illness and to try to avoid prison. During his time at the hospital, Hatcher claimed that he heard voices and he would fake delusions of persecution. He pretended to be confused and faked a few suicide attempts for effect. Just put a couple fake ones out there.
Season that on there.
Yeah, September 30th of 1969, Hatcher began the first of his 5 tours of the California State Hospital. In December of 1970, he's 41 years old now. Like we're getting a little closer to what feels like modern times. We're into the 70s. Everybody's like peace, love, and rock and roll. This motherfucker
Not for
is like
everybody.
he's sent back to the courts from the hospital. Psychologists saying that he was competent to stand trial. Each time being sent back to the hospital by the courts who didn't believe him to be so. One psychiatrist at the hospital identified him as having passive-aggressive personality with sexual deviation and pedophilia. It was also reported that the staff felt Hatcher was malingering. So
Lingerers.
Passive aggressive is a personality?
it is a personality
Like
disorder. Yeah,
That's a disorder. I just
I know a lot of people with that.
I don't know. I guess
yeah. I thought it was a disorder. I just thought it was a
gonna say,
dickhead way to go
X's
about
they need to
life.
call.
narcissism. The way that people say it is
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
could-
he's such a
yeah.
narcissist. Like most
Yeah.
people really aren't because that's an actual
Yeah.
like personality. Like it's a
True narcissists are like unable to see faults in
It's l-
anything that they do, regardless of what it is.
true.
True
People
narcissists.
who really like
Regardless of how
selfies
hard
of
we
themselves
try.
and
Yeah.
shit
That's
are vain.
insane, bro.
Like, even
People
when you
who-
tell them, like, the sky is blue, they're like, nah, I'm pretty sure it is purple.
And I am right.
Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
Just
so
saying.
space is empty. There's nothing there. Stars are lights.
Stars,
We live
stars
in a
are
dome.
lights.
You ever seen Truman Show?
Oh hell no.
I ran into the wall.
No, God, that's a
made of
scary
ice.
concept, yo.
Okay.
Let's get it.
So right now he's being bounced back and forth. Like courts are like, yo, you're fucking crazy. Hospitals take him in. They're like, yo, you're fucking faking it a little bit. Like you need to go to court. And the court's like, whoa, this guy is fucking nuts, man. Take him back. And the hospital's like, but listen, like, all right, let's go on passive aggressive.
What is he doing here that he's
Potato.
not doing there?
Yeah.
Like, you're missing something there, bud. Like,
Yeah.
you're on the bus ride home, you're to the hospital, you're getting too happy. You got to keep that crazy vibe going.
And-
you gotta
He probably gets tired.
bite the seats.
It's
poop on
also
yourself.
Bite the seat.
the difference between
True.
59
Gotta keep
and
it up.
1970, I feel like Greg made a point earlier, is that like much like him leaving the prison, I feel like it's a lot harder now to get away with being crazy than, but like in 1970, you might have been able to be like, oh, look, I'm a crazy guy. And be like, this guy's actually kind of insane. Do you see what he's doing?
Nowadays, they're
Nobody
just
acts
like,
like
"Should've
that."
found the Lord. He's speaking in tongues.
Yeah, like it's it's I don't know.
Well,
1970
so
feels
much
like
more
it wasn't
exciting.
What age
quite
is he at this point?
41.
And he's not married, so everybody probably is just like, this dude's nuts. He's 41 years old. He's not married. He's never had a solid job. He doesn't even have a home.
True.
Where's your lunchbox?
So again, hospital staff, they give him
kids.
a diagnosis of just being passive aggressive, but they also say he's got a little sexual deviation and he's obviously attracted to kids.
I'm not into that kind of sex.
Yeah.
Not that deviation's bad.
But they also say that they think he's kind of for sure dragging his feet. There's a lot of non-truths happening as well. The hospital decided once again that he was competent to stand trial, and once again, the judge ordered 2 more evaluations. On January 21st, 1971, the first psychiatrist concluded that Hatcher was insane and recommended vigorous treatment in a secure hospital. The following day, the second psychiatrist, who referred to Hatcher as Mr. Prince, concluded that he was incompetent to stand trial and sent him back to the hospital. On May 24th, 1971, Hatcher was finally sent to trial and pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Once again, Hatcher was sent for evaluations, but this time at a different hospital, and it was concluded that he could not stand trial. Dude, this is not, like, I'm not repeating things. This is the fucking process.
Back and forth, hot potato.
Yes. May 27th of 1971, the actual examination took place with both Hatcher, Albert Price, and Dr. Carl Drake Jr. He lied about his life history to the doctor, and many doctors had relied on the words of convicted inmates on the accounts of their lives, but many inmates obviously lied about them. On June 2nd of 1971, Hatcher is going to escape the hospital. Question number 7. This is a 2-part question. I want to know how long until he got caught and how far did he make it? So give me days for how long until he got caught and give me miles for how far did he make it. Okay. 2 questions. You get to get 2,000 points on
Can
this
I ask
question.
a question about the question?
Yes, we'll see.
That was awesome.
Sometimes I feel
You
like
told
it'll
me to
divulge
ask
too much.
questions
Yeah,
about
and sometimes the answer is no. What's the question?
Oh, that's what I wanted to know. Could I at least ask?
Oh, yeah,
question?
absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah, of course.
What time of year is this?
This would be June 2nd. June 2nd. So this is for summary. Summary.
Okay.
He was gone for.
Dude, I like that effect.
Yeah, but there wasn't.
I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like,
warm.
I was like, what? What is it? All right. Hell yeah.
All right. How long in days? How far did he make it in miles? So 250 points to the closest to each of the answers. If anybody is able to nail either of the answers, they will get 1,000 points or 2,000 if you can get them both.
Yeah.
You feel strong over there? B3R?
I feel strong every single day because I get gains. But that's besides the point. I am definitely confident in my answer.
Because I get gains. Yo.
Gains every day.
Me too. I got a bag of
Gains.
chimichangas and everything.
Those actually do count as gains.
I have
Like-
2 answers prepared for your 2-part question. So,
Does everybody?
No, wait,
Brittney, you
no.
good?
I'm like, I don't even know where to guess from.
Look at that.
You guys can't see what I see, but it is.
Damn, that's
All right. Everybody got 2 answers? Everybody got 2
Yeah,
answers?
good.
Bobby, let me see what you got.
I got less than. Hold on. Oh my bad. This is failure. Less than 1 day, and I said 22 miles.
20. That's a lot of ground to cover in less than 1 day. What well, I guess if he gets a car.
I thought he like maybe he's
Yo,
a good,
okay,
still
22
skating.
miles.
He
I'm
was
just gonna
on
say
one of
1
the
day for
very
your
first,
answer.
Like skateboard. Maybe he was on one of them Dogtown longboards.
Could have been gorilla. Like
It was rock and roll.
Okay, Brittney, what do you say?
I said 3 days and 15 miles.
3 days, 15 miles.
I said 13 days and 69 miles.
Oh. I
Well.
want him to get it. I want you to get it. Like,
Me too.
You said 1 day. You said how many days again?
3.
3. So Brittany's gonna get the points for days because he was caught 7 days later.
7 days.
Jeff is gonna get the miles
That's
because he
right.
was caught 90 miles away in
Damn.
Colusa, California.
You threw me off. You're like,
Yeah.
that many miles?
So
How dare
what,
you.
1
did we
week.
Split the points.
Yep, 250 for each of you. So Jeff's got 250 to tie
Hey.
Bobby up at 1,000. Brittany's at 750 within striking distance.
She's gonna win it, bro.
1,000 for Jeff and Bobby, 750 for Brittany. Let's move on. Yes, he's caught a week later, 90 miles away in Colusa, California, and is arrested under suspicion of auto theft and went by the name Richard Lee Grady. So right off the bat, they don't realize that he's the prison escapee.
What's your name? Dickley Grady.
I meant to say gravy, but I'll go with that. July 15th, 1971, he is returned to the California State Hospital for an evaluation of a mental disorder where he was recognized by the staff. So he's acting crazy when the police bring him in and he's Dickley Gravy. And they're like, wait a second.
Wait a second here, Dick
You're
Gravy.
Albert Price, Richard fucking, like he's the aliases go on.
Wait a
Aliases
second. You're
go
not
on.
Dick Gravy. You're.
Yeah,
He's splitting, bro.
exactly.
He's got
yeah.
I know
Who's
Dick
not?
Gravy. I went to high school with Dick Gravy.
And you, sir, are no Dick Gravy.
You look like a foot penis.
Yes, keep that in there.
All right, July 15th, 1971, he's returned and recognized. April 4th of 72, after finally deciding that Hatcher's treatment was going nowhere, they decided that he was endangering other patients, and he was sent to the prison's state hospital at Vacaville. August of 72, he is transferred to San Quentin Prison, finally to be forced trial 3 years after his last crime. October 24th of 1972, it is determined that he was capable of rational thinking based on a letter he wrote to his public defender. Hatcher was ordered 2 final examinations. Motherfucker. One would determine if he was competent to stand trial. The other would determine if he was sane at the time of the crime. On December 12th of this year, Hatcher is finally tried for the abduction and molestation of the young Hispanic boy in San Francisco and was convicted of the charges.
Good. They did
Yeah.
a full turnaround on that one.
Little bit.
So let's take a break right here.
Oh, that's a good break time. I like that.
We're gonna, so he's charged, all right? We can, all those fucking evaluations, okay?
Oh my gosh.
And then it's like, well, what's next?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
can't wait.
we'll take a break here. We'll come back with a hella, Greg, you
Ooh.
got something?
What's Greg doing?
I thought he was scratching his butt for a
What?
second.
Why is everybody looking?
You have something? You have something? Because I know we had a
Yeah.
discussion beforehand, so I didn't know if.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Hella Greg's got something as usual for you guys. So we'll have question number 8 coming up. That'll be a Hella Greg question for you guys. It'll be a Hella Greg story right after this. Come back, or we'll kill you.
Said you really didn't want to stay, and you thought I really couldn't change your mind. Another dollar, another day. Everybody's running through the test of time. I don't care if I'm gonna be late. At least I know I'll have a damn good time. Everything feels mighty fine. All my friends are here tonight. Memories I can't erase. I keep thinking about those days. There's some hope for everyone. Everyone will fall in love. Shooting stars fly through the sky. The sight of you is my demise. I just can't take a break now. I've been waiting for these days, for these days. Moonlight blinds me through the windshield. We're just trying to find our way, find our way. Everything feels mighty fine. All my friends are here tonight. Memories I can't erase. I keep thinking about those days. There's some hope for everyone. Everyone will fall
Let's do it.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 97 of the Serial Chillers. You're back. We don't have to kill you, as is with tradition.
There's that
So,
one guy who's on the list.
yeah, we've got we've got the list. You know who you are. Hella Greg, he's doing his hella thing, and we don't need much introduction for a guy like this. Hella Greg, tell us what you motherfucking got.
I brought another remote viewing transcript.
Yes.
Yes. That was a good one last time, bro.
I fucking like these,
Dude, I really do like them too.
They're kind of dumb. Like
This is a
Yeah, which is why I like them.
Honestly, I love
I
that.
have not heard this remote.
So can I quickly explain remote viewing then? And Greg, you can correct me when I'm most likely wrong.
go ahead.
So remote viewing is essentially, think about, oh fuck, okay. So say you're sitting here and you're someone who can remote view. So you would concentrate in on whatever it is that you want to remote view. And so, like, for instance, one of the transcripts Greg brought was they asked a guy to go to Mars a million years in the past. You good? Okay, Jeff's caught up. Okay.
I know this is Dr. Douglas Cottrell does this sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, it's astral projection. It's
Yeah.
It is
remote
astral
viewing.
projection.
He goes in like a trance. People write it down, but he doesn't even know what he said afterwards, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
of
these.
course. Well, these guys are actually aware. And
Oh,
what they
these guys
do-
are
what
aware.
they what they do is they're writing and drawing stuff as they go.
Whoa.
So that's gonna be your guys' question.
Oh, I'm
for
gonna have to
today.
answer something.
Oh,
You're
hell
gonna
yeah.
have to
Great
draw.
question.
I'm gonna get I'm
Oh.
gonna read this transcript, and I'm gonna let you guys draw
starting the card.
whichever part of it sticks out to you, because basically what these guys are doing, like the whole deal with these remote viewing sessions is that they're looking for raw data, is what they keep saying. So they're like he gives a lot of shapes, and he gives a lot of colors, and he gives a lot of like I said, raw data. So I'm gonna hit you guys with some stuff. I'm gonna read this, and then there's gonna be a couple of different things that he describes. So you don't have to jump right on the first one. Just hear it out, take some time, doodle something, and yeah, I can even show you guys what he doodled when
Close your eyes and go there.
Yeah.
Also,
So
remember,
this-
Greg is your judge. Bandit, your judge.
So this is a remote viewing session for the 18th of January, 1982, with an on-target time of 0900 hours. It's 9
Sorry,
o'clock.
really quick. Is this one of the official CIA?
Yeah, this is
Okay,
from this
okay.
is from the FOIA CIA
Okay.
library. And 01 is the overseer, or I'm sorry, 01 is the guide, and 63 is the remote viewer, because they number everybody.
Okay.
And part of I know I've talked about it before, but part of like getting into this is that there's like a 20-minute like warm-up period where they like get pep talks and stuff, and these guys have to have a rapport with their
It's like a sniper and their spotter.
yeah, I mean, like these guys
Or
have
like
to be
a
like
fluffer in their star.
yeah
Yes.
you kind of yeah, because you got to be in tune with what the other person wants to make them perform their best
Oh.
without taking them too far and ruining
So
their
Jeff's
act.
example is better, is what you're telling me.
Well,
I like his facial expressions, but no one can see it.
I was gonna go with
Thank you.
a pitcher and a pitching coach, but all of those are
Same.
acceptable.
Same thing.
Yeah. So this starts. He says, "Okay, it's now 9 o'clock. Your target for today is located at the following coordinates: 25 degrees, 2 minutes, 10 seconds north; 80 degrees, 45 minutes, 0 seconds west. Take your time, relax, just relax. Describe your perceptions pertinent to the target." So he knows that he's going to get a lot of outside data. He's just trying to keep him focused on the task at hand. So the remote viewer says, "I have a feeling of squares within squares, as though I'm looking down a tunnel, a square tunnel. These squares are supports or something like that." And they said, "Okay, go to the entrance, look around, and describe what you perceive." And he said, "Before I do that, I get two feelings about these squares. One time, it looks like I'm looking down into them, as though it's in a sense of perspective. And the next time, it's like I'm above them, and the smallest square is nearest to me. It's like when you draw one of those little boxes, you can't tell which side it's closest, which side is closest to you. So why don't you get right up near one of the squares and describe what you perceive?" And then there's a long pause. And they tell him, "Concentrate on your perceptions. I'm going to read read the coordinates again. Report the first perceptions which enter your mind after I read these coordinates. So he reads the coordinates again. The guy says, I come back to those squares. I believe it's a tower of some kind. It's not a tunnel of squares. It's like a raised area of squares. It comes to a point at the top. And they said, describe how high. How wide is this? He said, the tower gets larger as you go down, kind of flares at the bottom. If you were standing up, you'd see a curve, something like the Eiffel Tower is made. When you get to the top, it goes to the top. It stops getting smaller. There's a square, a triangular shape to it, where the sides of the squares, it's constructed of, they're not getting any smaller. They're constant size for a while, then to the very top, it comes to a point. They said, describe how I gain access to this tower. He says, I'm under the tower. It seems to be drawn to one of the legs, one of the corners of a square. They said, go to the very top of the tower and sit at the very top. Look all around and describe what you perceive at the top of the tower. He said, it's difficult to describe. I see a perspective view of an office building. Looks long and narrow. I don't see the roof of the office building. I'm looking down into the offices. And that's why I say it looks like an office building, because each little cubicle that I see going down the perspective view of this building looks like it's got desks and chairs and that sort of thing. I also get a lot of feelings of geometric shapes when you first asked me to look from the top of the tower, as though I was seeing a city or something. A lot of different shapes up against one another. This office building that I call it, each one of those little cubicles looks like it's sort of different color. Got a feeling for light green, a yellow, maybe a light blue, several light greens and light yellows.
It sounds like he's describing a cube of bismuth. You were saying like
kinda.
bismuth, like yeah,
a little bit. I mean, what's cool is, and I'm almost done with the transcript.
I drew him.
Good.
I drew
fucking wrap it up.
Tetris squares.
I'm just kidding. I fucking love this shit.
So they said, search out the most significant item on the ground and describe that item to me. He said, it looks like a relatively tall square building. It has windows on both sides, inside and outside the square. I get a monument feeling sort of thing about it. They said, okay, I have no more questions pertinent to the target. Feel free to take the next few minutes and just relax and be one with the target. Report anything else of significance you desire. He said, I just saw a spire, or I'm seeing a spire related to something I know. It looks like something like the Washington Monument. Got a circular walkway around the base of it. Like all these things are in the same general area. So then they tell him to just remember everything that he saw. And like really try and hold the image of that in his head.
Don't you fucking forget this shit, 63.
Yeah, when they bring him out of it, they said, okay, why don't you start with item 1 on your page there and describe your drawings to me. And they basically had him draw all this stuff out. They'd had him draw out everything he saw. And then once he's got the raw data in his head and he's got the drawings to sort of look back on, they have him go through and start trying to make sense of everything so that they can make sense of everything and see if this remote viewing stuff is legit. I read one earlier and they sent a guy, they gave him coordinates. He went to him. He reported seeing covered wagons, like the old school style covered wagons, pup tents.
He's like, people are dying of dysentery.
I mean,
it's the Oregon Trail.
He was talking about, mountains and trees, big trees, redwoods, pines that were real tall, real old. And at the bottom of the transcript, they had a map of where they sent him, and it was inside Yellowstone National Park. Ooh. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. I've got pictures of his drawings so you guys can kind of see what he was getting at.
What are you showing us? Okay.
I didn't do this. I drew.
Okay, here. There's some drawings. Bobby's trying to make quick changes.
I made a dome. And
It's okay. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's fine if I look at yours and it looks
Here,
too much
I'll
like this.
I'll take him. I'll show Greg.
It
Wait,
looks
hold
too
on.
much like this. I'm gonna be like, that's bullshit.
No, I got you. I just gotta finish.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You're a fucking
1.
cheater.
There you go. All right, damn. All right, bro. All right, it's sketch art, so don't be
where are
judgmental.
you gonna take it to show?
Don't be judgmental because it's sketch art. And
Okay.
I'm scared now.
Don't try and explain your shit either, because then I'm gonna know
because
who
then
it
Greg will know
is.
who it is.
Oh, okay.
Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2. Let me know if you need a closer look at anything. Number 3.
I like that one.
That's your winner?
Yeah, that's the winner.
Okay, 250 points for Bobby.
Yeah, boy, it's the dude looking through.
I honestly, that was your winner because I like the way it looked like he was actually like looking through something.
Yeah, dude, it's like you could, but it was from the angle from the up.
Minus points because he was way past deadline time.
No, he counted down, bro.
I did do a countdown.
The
You joined
Goofy
me.
movie, bro.
You
I
joined
know
me.
the
It
circumstances.
was like an overtime countdown, but it's all right.
Okay, so thank you, Greg. I love remote viewing transcripts.
It was awesome.
So listen, can I tell them why we did a remote viewing transcript?
Sure.
Because this has happened before too with me. Is we've been doing the show a long time, and like you run through a lot of information every week or 2 weeks, however long it takes you to put together your outline. So like a lot of times you're just you're putting it together, you're presenting it, and you fucking forget it. Like you sometimes forget completely that you ever learned it. Oh. And so earlier in the week, Greg was like, "Yo, have I ever done
Edgewood?"
And I was like, "I don't think so." And like I even typed it into the podcast and it didn't pop up.
Yeah, I figured out what happened.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit at writing descriptions for these things, so
you did never put Edgewood in it?
never put Edgewood in.
Yeah.
It's okay, man. You live in
So today, like 2 hours before we finished, you're getting here. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm putting all this together," and I'm like, "I'm totally realizing I have done this before." And I was like, "Oh man, my bad," because I for sure told you that you hadn't either. So I apologize.
team effort. Safety
So
first.
hey, look, he saved it. Brought a question.
Yes.
Brought a nice transcript. I do adore those, so I appreciate that, man.
I actually really liked him because you like him so much. Because you sometimes are just like when he says something about conspiracy, you're like, "Oh, Greg, another one of these."
Well, it's his job. That's what he does. I appreciate and respect what he does, but I am a healthy skeptic in most cases,
Which is
and we need
understandable.
each other for that.
That's good.
I
Balances.
feel like, we've got each other balancing that. Listen. Greg doesn't love talking about serial killers every single week. That's not really Greg's thing. Greg wasn't like, "Man, I really want to start a serial killer podcast with you, Jesse. Let's do that." It was kind of like he got roped into it. Is what really happened.
He thought it was metal,
and
he was like,
he's created a very awesome part of the show.
My favorite part is the murder.
Yeah, some people like the murder, some people like the conspiracy, some people like both.
I just like you guys talking shit on him. That's like my favorite part.
I don't. I try not to talk shit on anybody. I tell people shut up a lot.
You call them fuckfaces. That's literally.
The serial
Yeah,
killers.
yeah.
I thought you meant like people here. I was
No,
like,
no,
"Yeah,
no,
man, I
no,
tell people
no,
shut up.
no. I like that you guys talk shit on the serial killers.
Yeah, because they're all fuckfaces.
Yeah, assholes.
So let's get back to the conviction. Remember, he's just been convicted of that molestation of the Hispanic boy from San Francisco. It's taken 3 years and 14 evaluations to see if he was crazy or not. But he's not, they say, and they convict him. So on January 9th, Hatcher is committed to the California State Hospital, the mentally disordered sexual offender. On March 28th, 1973, at around 5 p.m., the security guards found Hatcher hiding in a cooler near the main courtyard of the hospital.
He was chilling.
That was pretty good.
Yes.
Question number 9.
Yes.
When he was searched, what did they find on him? Was it A, rope, B, sheets, C, a shiv, or D, a lockpick set? Told you I was good at this, Bobby.
Dude, that's because he's been to prison.
Does he have rope on him? Sheets, shiv, lockpick set.
Where was he found again? Question about
In a cool, he was in a
cooler, right?
cafeteria area near a main courtyard that if you were able to gain access to, you could most definitely get outside of the prison.
All right, I'm good. I got my answer. My deed.
Okay, Jeff.
Ooh, get it.
B.
Sheets.
Ooh.
Brittney.
D.
A lockpick set.
D.
A lockpick set. Jeff getting 250 points because they found stuffed down his pants 2 bed sheets he had used to fashion to get over the wall.
The tangle method. Oh,
Yeah, he was already out. Well, he needed a lockpick.
I thought he picked his way into that, and then
Yeah,
he was going.
that's
Why?
what I was
Hold on.
thinking.
He needed to take a rope to get over the wall, but he's in the hospital. He can't get a rope, so
You almost got me.
what did I get?
You know what?
I thought he broke into this facility and he opened it that way. You had me talking crazy for a second.
He did.
I was feeling it.
I was about to do what Jesse said he almost did earlier. I won't comment on that, though.
You can. I give you the ticket.
I'm not
You can
trying.
do it.
I'm good.
Do it.
I got to leave here. Though.
it.
You know what I mean?
Tend to the dark side.
Okay, so Bobby and Jeff both have 1250.
Oh, we
Brittney
tied.
has 750. Look how many questions are left. There's plenty of time. She's like, great, fucking get me the fuck out of here.
It's going to be dark when we leave. I had shit to do. Sorry.
It's 8:08. We'll probably be out of here by now.
Honestly, we'll be good. We'll be good.
I just had to look up. It's like, wait, did I hit record? We good. I did. Well, we gotta start all that over, guys. Can you say all that again?
Yes.
So they found 2 full-size sheets stuffed into his pants while he was hanging out in the cooler. He did not have a lockpick set. I do like where your head was, but that's why I put it in there as an answer.
Dude,
because,
you're good, bro. You're good. I gotta admit it.
April 27th, 1973, he's sent to a medium security prison in Vacaville with a sentence of 1 year to life in prison.
That's a not so medium
Very
sentence.
big
Yeah.
range there.
Do you like your future broad?
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
In May 1973, a psychologist, W.D. Lewis, interviewed Hatcher at the reception center and found him to be manipulative, institutionalized sociopath.
Go figure.
June 15th, 1973, Hatcher was recommended for transfer to maximum security prison. Question number 10.
Ooh, double digits now.
Upon hearing about his transfer, he attempted suicide.
Ooh.
How did he try to end it all? Did he stockpile pills? Did he slash his throat, slash his wrists, or try to hang himself? They're all such good ways to kill yourself.
I wish. I'm joking. Everybody, I'm joking.
Millennial joke.
Everybody, yeah, it's a millennial. Thank you.
Stockpiled pills, slashed throat, slashed wrist,
I'm about that.
hanging. All right, start with Bobby this time.
Okay, I got hanging, yo.
Bobby said it with a
That's an
hanging.
old school thing to do.
Jeff.
C.
The hash slinging
Slash
slashers.
wrist. Brittney.
See,
C. Slashed wrists. Well, upon hearing about his transfer, he attempted suicide. In what way? He slashed his wrists because he didn't want to be sent to one of the
Because he
prisons.
just wanted attention and didn't want to actually do it.
So
Damn.
250
You're in
points
it.
for both
You're
Brittney
in
and
it.
Jeff.
Oh my
Bobby misses
gosh.
out on that one. So Brittany's got 1,000. Jeff has 1,500. Bobby has 1,250. Everybody is within 2 questions. We've got 8
interesting now.
more. So yes, he slashed his wrist, and a psychiatrist concluded that he had paranoia and schizophrenia which saved him from the maximum security prison. So again, he's saved by a doctor being like, "Yo, this dude is fucking crazy."
How does nobody see it?
So instead of the transfer, he
wanna fix
remains
it,
at Vacaville. In August of 1975, the guard stated at the parole review that Hatcher was not a custodial problem and had performed his tasks well in the hospital kitchen. So he's doing all right.
You just slashed his wrist. You're gonna put him in the kitchen where the knives are.
Well, yeah, you got.
I mean, he's earned it, you know. June 25th, 1976, he's now 45 years old, guys. The California Parole Board found that Hatcher had improved dramatically through his time in prison, which was 2 years and 7 months, 17 days, based on various reviews. Talk of parole began. So,
The system worked.
after continued treatment of rehabilitation,
first.
that's the long parole date was set for December 25th, 1970. I gave him a good old Christmas gift there.
Ooh.
On January 3rd, 1977, Hatcher received a modified parole date that led him to be released 19 months earlier than expected. A bill had been passed that would give credit to inmates for time spent not only in jails, but in mental health facilities as well. May 20th, 1977, Hatcher was released to Home Care Services Center, a halfway house in San Francisco, California. He's a 47-year-old man. May 25th, 1977, Hatcher was supposed to report back to a halfway house every night at 9 p.m. and take a total of 9 prescribed pills. Question number 11.
Oh, here we go.
How long would he be in the care of the halfway house before he goes missing? So 250 points to the closest.
Dude, he's quick though. He's always
Yeah,
very quick.
he covers some ground.
He does,
covers some
man.
ground.
He is.
So
How
he
many-
gets
are we
into
doing
the
days here?
He gets in. Yeah, give me days. Let's say,
Okay.
but I mean, it could be 910 days. But how long does he stay in the halfway house? Stay straight before he's like, "Fuck it, I'm out of here. I gotta get out of this place."
You know what? I'm taking a chance. I'm taking a damn chance, so I'll put that in day form. Damn, I'm second guessing my shit, but that's
Don't do it.
no. Remember last time?
That's the problem.
Yep.
Man. That's the problem.
Okay,
God
cool.
knows. Brittney will go first this time. What do you say?
14 days.
14 days, says Brittney. Bobby.
365 days.
365 days, Jeff.
3 days.
3 days.
I like how you did that perfectly. Like you answered that 3 days.
Yeah. So, after being admitted to the halfway house, he's got a spot. You just got to keep it cool here. 5 days later, Jeff gets 250 points. Hatcher violated the terms of his parole and was on the run. He was considered from the halfway house a walkaway. Jeff extends his lead. He has now got 1750. Brittney's still at 1,000. Bobby at 1250. Still, everybody's still plenty of time.
Still anybody's game if your name's Jeff.
Do you see? Do you see this little pin shake right here? This is me getting serious.
Is that you getting serious?
He's like, no, this is just my crippling anxiety.
Let me
I'm
get
actually
more,
tripping right now.
more serious.
Everybody got some CBD?
So 5 days later, Hatcher violated the terms of his parole. He's on the run. He's a walkaway. June 13th of 77, he's declared a parolee at large. And besides a sighting in Wilmar, Minnesota, was not seen for over a year.
See, I got that right.
May 27th, 1978, Eric Christian, who is a 4-year-old white male, was abducted and murdered in St. Joseph, Missouri. Hometown home. September 4th of 1978, Hatcher was arrested in Omaha, Nebraska, 150 miles north of St. Joseph, Missouri, for sexual attack on a 16-year-old boy. In the fall of 78, Hatcher was arrested for molesting a teenage boy, attempting to stab a 7-year-old boy, fighting over payment for sex with a young man. All of these crimes were in Omaha, Nebraska, and Hatcher also molested a man in Lincoln, Nebraska, and attempted to stab a man in Des Moines, and abducted an 11-year-old boy from a shopping mall in Bettendorf, Iowa.
It's like a really, really, really bad version of like a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, it really is. And I can see the montage. That's the bad part.
I can
Like,
see it. I can see the map.
Dude, and
the
it's
whole
moving.
time.
He's
It's
just moving
like
around
different,
Iowa.
Like,
He's
very
been
light
everywhere.
transparent stabbings and like videos like over the map.
Done a lot of
Black
stuff.
and white.
I hurt someone today.
I really like the attempted stabbing of a 7-year-old. Like it makes me think that the 7-year-old
quick.
like fought him off.
Yeah,
Or juked him.
He knew martial
When he
arts.
came after him. You know, he did the whole like push him to the side, break the wrist, made
Yeah,
him drop
dude.
the
He's
knife,
like,
shoot
green
the
belt.
ass and
Shoot,
made
my
him
dad
run.
beats me. What's
I think the 7-year-old...
I'm a future serial killer.
I think the
got you.
7-year-old's got to put one foot in the ground to juke a 49-year-old Charles Ray Hatcher who's
Man,
spent his
yeah.
entire life in prisons and
in a
mental
box.
facilities.
I guess that's really
Yeah.
a box.
moving
yeah.
around in a
He just
cell.
like went right and then went boom and
said,
went left. And Charles was like, I almost fell on the knife.
little kid almost killed
Like
me.
just think about old
Or the
old
kid
guy
just had
stiff
ice water in
legs.
his veins,
Yeah.
and
It's
he
true.
was like, I'm gonna stab you, and the kid was like,
At any rate, good job 7-year-old for juking and or fighting off emaciated 47-year-old
beast.
mental health facility ridden Charles Ray
congratulations on
Hatcher.
not getting stabbed.
I feel like we're kind of patronizing the kid at that point.
No.
No,
I'm
he's
patronizing this fucking asshole who deserves to fall. I can just like see an old man.
him. He couldn't even move.
I could see an old man fall.
stab you. What if he fell on the knife, you ass?
I wasn't
Fucking
saying
kids,
that.
always
I-
thinking about themselves.
That's not true, or that is true, but I could only hope that he would fall.
Right? No,
For real, that'd be funny.
I was just being a dick.
I know.
good friends. The
So
bad friends.
January 31st, 1979, he is released from Douglas County Mental Hospital in Omaha, where he had been for the sexual attack that he had committed in September. He had been arrested under the name Richard Clark, old Dick Clark.
Dude, those aliases.
Dude. Records indicate that he may never have been identified as Hatcher during his time there at all. None of the jurisdictions that Hatcher encountered bothered to process his fingerprints at any point, because this is the time, it's 78.
This was before the internet.
This is Woodstock,
and, like,
right?
It is
very
before the
good
internet,
calling
but there
phones.
are like
Why did I say it
fingerprint.
like that?
You just recognized it.
There are like fingerprint systems in place though, so like you can submit fingerprints to national systems, and it's
They
not
just didn't
instant.
do
It's
it.
not on like CSI. Yeah, it's just that nobody did it.
Who was just, you know what?
Yeah, but nobody
you
in
did a
Missouri is
scumbag.
like, I'm okay. So let me call San Francisco and see what happened over there.
Yeah, I think that's kind
Hey,
of
did
what
you
you're.
have a guy that looked like this come through your state? They hung up on me. They hung up on me. I don't know.
Also,
lines,
it's got a cost to send out you know
Yeah.
fingerprints, and so it could be like
Hello, operator. Give me Missouri.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta send out to get the fingerprints done, and then they're gonna send you a bill, and then.
Well, and if who you think this guy
pay
is,
for that to see what he,
You're gonna give me a bill? I'm the police. How are you gonna give me a bill? Huh?
Richard. So like Richard Clark to them, like they're like, oh, this Richard Clark, like this guy doesn't have a record at all. Like, why would we send his print? I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's old Dick Clark from the club. You know, we played with
there.
him. He had the
Billards
backhand that was just different. Dick
You
Clark.
never watched New Year's Eve? So he is. He's in some shit, you guys. But he's not getting his fingerprints processed. February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1979, a man by the name of Melvin Reynolds was falsely accused and convicted to life in prison for the Christian murder. This is the 4-year-old boy. Which was indeed committed by Hatcher. May 3rd, 1979, Hatcher is now 49 years old. He is arrested again in Omaha for assault and attempting to kill another 7-year-old boy. Charges were dropped, and he was sent to another mental health facility. Let's move into the time of hair metal, fucking pink and green. May 21st, 1980. Yeah, we're in it, the 80s, guys. Hatcher was released, only to return 2 months later for another assault charge.
Was it a 7-year-old again?
Doesn't say.
Because
Just another
he's
assault
mad
charge.
that the other one got away, and he's pissed.
September
The one that
6th.
got away.
I'm gonna
He's
go
like,
after a fast
now they're
one
the
this
two
time.
that got away.
Give me a little portly one.
Oh, 2 7-year-olds. All right, I can't find another one. I'm just going to get a 14-year-old. Charges were dropped, and he was sent to another mental health facility. He's released. September 6th, he escaped from Norfolk Regional Center. On October 9th, he's arrested under the name Richard Clark in Lincoln, Nebraska for attempted assault and sodomy of a 17-year-old male. He was discharged from the mental health facility where he was sent to spend only 21 days. January 13th of 1981, he's arrested again under the name Richard Clark in Des Moines, Iowa after a knife fight.
He liked that name.
Yeah, or he's just like, oh, wait, which ones have I used? Richard Clark? They're like, yeah, aren't you wanted for molestation? He's like, fuck!
I'm still stuck on how
No,
harsh
it's a different guy.
sodomy
Look at
sounds.
the thing. He had a beard. I don't.
Intense.
On what? No,
I was just stuck on how harsh sodomy sounds.
It sounds horrible.
That sounds terrible. Like, you know what it is, but like sodomy just sounds way worse.
It sounds like it comes from the Bible.
Well, yeah. I mean, well,
It does?
yeah. Go ahead.
I
move on.
didn't read it.
Oh, no, yeah. April 10th, 1981. We're not talking about the Bible here. Hail Satan.
Let's talk about
That's a
serial
different show.
killers.
April 10th, 1981, Hatcher was discharged to a Salvation Army shelter in Davenport, Iowa. June 20th, 1981, James L. Churchill was stabbed to death on the banks of the Mississippi River near Rock Island, Illinois. James was 34, so it wasn't a little boy. However, Hatcher... Huh?
That sounds like a country song.
I just thought of Mississippi.
Stabbed on the
River.
banks of the Mississippi River near Rock Island, Illinois.
Just another Johnny Cash situation.
I hope it's played by a fiddle.
So Hatcher eventually is going to confess to this crime. He said that Churchill and he had been drinking heavily, and all of a sudden he felt the impulse to kill growing inside him.
Eruption, brother.
He stabbed Churchill until the knife became embedded into bone in the right of his chest near the heart. Question number 12. Before it became embedded, how many times did he stab Churchill?
That reminds me of the Futurama dude. Gotta stab. Love it. Oh, man. Damn. That's a good one, though.
Let me give him the clamps.
Yeah.
Stab, 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 stab!
Yep. I love it. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go.
Closest to the answer gets 250 points. If you nail it, you get 1,000.
Okay.
All right. What'd you write, Bobby?
13.
13. What'd you write, Brittney?
6.
6.
34.
34. What a violent stabbing.
You might be getting good at this.
Bobby's going to get 250
Or maybe
points,
you're
but he's
not.
going to kick himself a little bit to know that he stabbed Churchill a total of 12 times. So very close to the 1,000. But he's going to get 250 points for that.
That's usually the one I get the 1,000. But what do we like by like the 10th or 11th or like whatever?
What? 12th question?
Yeah. Oh,
12th
see?
question. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I hit 1,000 sometime around this time, and it's just really weird.
This is where you take off? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's what usually I say comeback king, but like
You've been at 1,000 for a while.
That hurts.
Also, that's like if they're all 250 points, that's only like 1 out of every 3 questions.
Greg, can we not put ratios?
What,
in?
what is my point total?
They did the math. Jeff is at 1,750. Brittney is at 1,000. Bobby is at 1,500. We've got 6 questions to go.
Let's do this.
And they're going to come pretty rapid fire because we're like fairly near the end of our story here. Fairly near. Hang in there.
There's only like 14 or 15 more pages.
So, July 16th,
Yeah, dude.
1981, he's arrested in Bettendorf, Iowa for attempting to abduct an 11-year-old boy from the grocery store. The boy was able to run, and when the police arrested Hatcher, he again went by the name Richard Clark. Ironically, today, July 16th, that day, 1981, we're getting pretty close here, was his birthday. Happy birthday. You fucking stupid Happy birthday, dickhead. So the following year, March 18th, 1982, the charges are dropped, but Hatcher is sent to another mental hospital in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, on an involuntary commitment. Do you think he just rolls into these hospitals now like, Mike, what up? How's the kids?
What's
like,
up, dude?
Hey, Christopher.
He's like,
He's still hooking up the pills like he used to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, here comes trouble.
oh, you
What
already
I do?
know.
I'm just trying to have sex with and kill a underage person.
oh, you always get us.
That's how I do it.
Like, that's what I imagine. He's just like, he's 52 years old, and I don't think
Damn.
he's ever been out for more than like 2 or 3 years.
No, he's consecutively in there. He's like,
Yeah.
he's just chilling. Free meals,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like social environments.
Sometimes he spent a lot of time in solitary.
You know what? Sometimes you need to be alone, have space.
March
You
8th.
need to learn to love yourself before you can learn to love other
Just
people.
makes you
Yeah.
more murderier.
March 18th, in some cases, that's
Marinate you in
correct.
that murder sauce.
March 18th,
Yes, that's-
1982. That is pretty good.
Vinegary
the-
sauce.
Charges.
Phrase now.
The charges are dropped, but Hatcher is sent to May 7th, 1982. After staying there only 49 days for the attack on the 11-year-old, Hatcher is released. July 27th, 1982. A young woman was accosted by a strange man in a downtown shopping mall in St. Joseph, Missouri. Back home, y'all, the man wanted to take her for a walk and buy her a cup of coffee.
Not our guy.
The
not a
woman
guy,
was
it's a
frightened
girl.
by the man and told him to leave her alone. This encounter took place only half a block from where Eric Christian was abducted 4 years earlier. July 28th of 1982, Hatcher abducted a 10-year-old boy. The abduction took place outside a mall in St. Joseph, Missouri, and the boy had been browsing in a record shop. Question number 13.
Imagine that, man.
How did Hatcher convince the boy to go with him? Did he A, offer him cheaper records out at his car? B, say he was a family member and his mom had been in an accident? That's the classic, right?
Dude, I'm your uncle
C,
twice removed.
What's the password? C, he acted like an employee of the store. Or D, he acted like a security guard.
Pretty confident in this one. Confident.
He's just like, this record store sucks. Let me give you a ride to the warehouse. They've got 8 tracks there for way less.
Like really, really cheap. You can get
Yeah,
like
it's only gonna
I
cost
really
you
don't
like
want
$4.50.
anybody to get this right if I don't.
that's understandable.
Okay.
That's called competition and use that fire.
So I need to know the answer and then for you guys to change yours.
All right, Jeff, what did you say?
Hey.
A, offered him cheaper records at the car. Brittney,
I chose A.
also cheaper records at the car. Bobby said.
I'm throwing that D on the table.
Okay.
Gross.
Sorry.
Gross, but Bobby thinks that he was a security guard or acted as a security guard.
Easy. Easy. to lie.
Got all red there. Sorry.
At the mall, the boy was perusing the selection in the record shop when a man approached him, grabbed him by the shoulder, and announced that he was a security guard. Bobby gets
Why you stealing? Homie, come back to this car because you dying.
So Bobby's tied
You
this.
escalated that quick.
I'm so sorry. I should calm
It's okay.
down.
It happens.
Bobby's tied back up for the lead here.
back,
1750. Brittney is at 1,000.
Yeah.
We have got we've got 5 questions to go. So if they were all worth 250 and you got them all right, and they don't get any right, you're gonna win.
It could happen.
There are definitely going to be
The
some that are
best.
worth 1,000 though. So who knows?
I'll tell you what, if I lose, there's going to be some people getting verbally abused on the internet.
and I also will say in season 4 we've seen like 3 or 4 Hail Marys go down. I think Bobby was
Yeah.
one of them.
Yeah,
where at
threw
the
one of
end,
them.
like the very last question, he answered a 1,000-point question to
Ba-bing.
get a win. Or yeah,
Ba-boom.
But
so the security guard is real talk. He takes him out of there. The boy got away though, and went to find his grandmother. The man escaped before police arrived. July 29th of 1982. There was a brief report in the St. Joseph Gazette on the attempted abduction of the boy. It's pretty much all of the attention it's going to get. July 29th, the same day, Michele Steele, who was 11, was abducted and murdered in St. Joseph. She was going to a dentist appointment downtown, and she went to her dentist, got there at 10:30 and left around 11:30. When her mother, Annette Steele, returned home at 3:15 and noticed her daughter still was not home, she called the police. July 30th of 1982, the uncle of the missing girl, Roy Montgomery, was continuing the search and noticed something between 2 logs. It was the body of Michele Steele, who was laying there between the 2 logs, completely lifeless and devoid of color. So he found his niece dead.
I'm doing a sad face
Yeah,
emoji.
Jeff is
like,
doing
yeah,
sad
that
face.
sucks. It's like finding your cat dead, you know?
So the body was
Or like your niece, bro.
Yeah.
Well, like if you
No,
don't
it's
have
cool. It's a cat for sure.
It's like it's a human. It's like a
no,
living
I'm no
being.
Bobby. I know Bobby. It's good. Cats, niece, whatever.
I love humans and cats.
So the body was found less than a mile downstream from where Eric Christian's body was found earlier. Same day, Hatcher voluntarily checked into the St. Joseph State Hospital under the name Richard Clark, claiming that he was hearing voices. On August 3rd of 1982, under the name Richard Clark, he was charged with first-degree murder for the murder of Michele Steele, the 11-year-old girl. Question number 14.
Dude, he's 50-something and then he goes to girls. Like, he just changes it up.
I'm still laughing about the finding your cat thing. What question? How many?
Question number 14. He's been picked up on for first-degree murder of Michele Steele under the name Richard Clark. At what amount did they set the bail? Yeah, these chairs got it.
Dude, Greg is chilling, dude.
Can I ask a question?
Chilling,
Yeah,
man.
of course you can.
Oh,
What year was this again?
they both. And he's back.
1982.
1982.
And what was he being?
First-degree murder.
And they set the bail at.
Okay, all right. This guy is very lucky though, so I don't know. Let me see. I'm gonna go in. Wait. Oh, you said 1950. 19.
Oh, should have listened.
Damn.
1982.
Thank you, Jesse.
That's what I do, man.
Brittney, I'm not liking your next post.
Sorry, I didn't tag you for film crib.
Oh, okay.
Burn.
Damn, I can't come back from that.
I don't know the word you guys are saying.
The funny thing is like,
I don't know what we're yelling about.
It's past my bedtime.
All right, what do you got, Bobby?
I got 500K, bro.
500,000.
Yeah, I did it.
Oops.
I did it, bro.
Jeff,
I did it,
did
bro.
you say 500,000?
The 80s to him were like history book shit, though. So. $55,000.
55,000.
I need to be more. Yeah.
What do you say?
I put 25,000.
25,000. Let me think here.
I don't know. I feel like he's did
You
so
could
much.
just look at the phone.
Jeff is the closest.
Yes.
Damn.
But it was $250,000. So you were $250,000 off your $200,000.
See, if this was another game
I
show,
hate The
you
Price
would
is
have lost
Right.
anyway. So it's okay.
Actually, I love
It's
Price is
closest
Right.
without going over.
Price is Right rules.
Bro, you know
those don't rule here.
I just got double whammied right now.
Oh, well, that's what I was operating off of. Jeez.
So Jeff's
Everything
going to
I
get
know's a lie.
250 points for the 250,000. Although you were $200,000 off.
Still closest.
Still,
Dude,
yeah, still
I
the
said
closest.
500. I'm like,
Yeah.
I said 500. Jeez, sorry. I am actually 35% German, though.
Really?
How
Yes,
about
white.
that?
That's
I'm actually
sick,
mixed, yes.
dude.
Hatcher had been identified by the police as the man that they had seen in the river, as well as picked out in photo lineups by the 2 attempted abductees. Sufficient evidence had been found: nylon cords, his knapsack, his teeth matched the bite marks on some of the girls' bodies. His shoes matched the imprints in the soil near the body. And on August 13th, 1982, so they figured out he's Hatcher now. He first got charged as Richard Clark, and they're like, wait, you're fucking... They figured it out.
So
Actually,
was
Hatcher.
this post Bundy?
Yes.
So that's how they got the bike mark thing then, huh? Because I was gonna say they were
That's
like
pretty-
that was like the
pretty
first
early.
one they used.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
on,
So
right?
this is 82.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Bundy finished in 78. I should know this.
I don't really know.
So Hatcher.
Don't fact check me.
So he's going to receive his first mental examination in this case, and it was concluded that he could understand his charges, and he did need to be sent to another mental hospital. September 12th of 1982, he pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, and a second examination was ordered. On December 2nd, 1982, during the examination, he was injected with a truth serum, sodium pentothal.
CIA.
In the
Greg.
questioning, Hatcher claimed that voices and demons told him to sacrifice the maiden. Sacrifice the maiden! Yeah, he wrote a metal song is what it sounds like.
Basically, he knows that they gave him something, so he's just fucking with them.
It sounds a bit like
That's
he
true,
was
they
kind
could.
of capitalizing on the Satanic Panic of the time.
Yeah, and
Like,
Greg is heard from again.
You got up so quick when
with the rhymes, Satanic Panic. That's a new band. I'm doing it. We're doing
Doing
it.
it.
That's got to be a band because Greg is right. That was huge.
You guys want to skateboard in our first video?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Count me in.
I'll do it. Hell yeah.
1980.
Satanic Panic was a big deal in the early 80s,
Yeah.
and like people were freaking out over the littlest things that they thought had to do with Satan. So I'm sure this guy, this
He's
nutsack,
very
probably tried to
clever.
capitalize on
He's
it by
an
being
actor.
like, "Oh, I saw demons,"
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, because Satan's real in the 80s."
Yep, he was real in the 80s.
Dio, bro.
And so was cocaine and crack.
And Michael Jackson was the biggest star, along with Bill Cosby.
Oh no!
That's Bill.
So during the questioning of the truth serum, you guys know, sacrifice the maiden. The doctors believed that these were simply excuses that he'd come up with to justify his violence to himself. On December 6th of 1982, a trial date was set, but was missed because of his lack of competence to stand trial, they say. April 19th, 1983, Hatcher was ruled competent to stand trial for the first-degree murder of the death of Michele Steele, and a new trial date was set for June 6th. On May 3rd, 1983, Hatcher was spending time at Buchanan County Jail awaiting the trial when he gave a scrap of paper to a deputy that said, "Please call the FBI and tell them I would like to see them today. Very important case." When Hatcher met with FBI agent Joe Holstag, he gave him a map that directed him to the body of James Churchill. He didn't admit to killing him at this time, so it was assumed that he was just trying to gain credibility. Question number 15.
Down.
Here we go.
He told Agent Holstag that there were blank amount of bodies that he knew about. Oh, I can lead you to this many, Detective or Agent Holstag. How many is it? Closest to the answer gets 250 points. If you can nail it, it is 1,000 motherfucking points. If anybody gets this, they're pretty much running away with it.
Yeah. What it do? Got the
Baby,
number down.
you make me wish I
I
had
know the
3
truth.
hands.
Dude, yes. Oh,
Rad
that's awesome.
Dad 2019.
That was good, bro.
If you're listening, Ryan, I love you.
Oh,
And you make me wish I had
3 hands. Okay, everybody got an answer for the amount of bodies that they believe that he told them about. Okay, Brittney.
3.
3.
oh, I'm gonna go 16.
16 says Bobby.
I said 5.
5.
You were on that 5 train.
Here's the deal.
I got 5.
Okay.
Somebody nailed it. Oh no. Bobby's shaking over there.
My heart's racing.
My heart is racing,
Continue to shake
dude.
because it was 16.
Just hit.
It was 16. Bobby again throws the Hail Mary towards the end
I'm gonna rip my shirt off right now.
and is going to take a pretty substantial 2,750 to 1,000 to
You already know
17.
it's the comeback.
I heard
kingdom.
him. I heard him say
Comeback kingdom.
16, and I was like, "How in the
16.
ever living shit did he guess that?" Like,
You know what's funny? I was like 15. Nah, 17.
15's just not enough.
Nah, you
And
know
sometimes I think people can, like, Bobby's in the spot where if I had the tablet or the computer, if he really wanted to, he could see it. The phone, it's not fucking possible.
what? Bro.
This is not a cheating
I literally
situation.
forgot you were on the phone. I literally-
Okay, so wow.
Wow.
Bro, hey, you know what I do? What I do when I do is let me do it.
Yeah, so
You
what
do
Bobby said, I guess he's winning, so just go with that or whatever. So he told Holstag that there were 16 bodies. 13 of them were adults, and all were male. Holstag got his first pieces of information that would lead him to the discovery that the wrong man was in jail for the murder of young Eric Christian. During the interview, it became clear that Hatcher would trade details about the murder for the death penalty because he wanted to be put to death.
Oh, he had a realization. He had an epiphany.
Yeah, he was saying like, yo, I'll give you information if you make sure I die. Like, I need you to make sure they kill me. I'll tell you where these bodies are.
That's that South Park episode with like the little birds. Like, kill me.
May 28th, 1983, Hatcher was finally charged under his real name for the crimes that he had committed. He was listed as using several aliases. Question number 16. How many aliases, in the end, is he known to have had? Closest to the answer gets 250 points, 1,000 if you can't.
I started writing his nicknames down too, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I don't need that.
Okay, here's the thing too. I will say as a preface to this question, I did not say all of the aliases that he would have been known to use.
Okay.
So if you had taken notes, you would have gotten the wrong answer.
Ooh, you know what? That's real though.
That's what the show is about.
Yeah, it's true.
Dumb luck answers.
That
Skill
sounds like
does
me in
not
high
prevail.
school. I took notes, still got the wrong answers. Stop taking notes, stop going to school.
You had all the answers then.
Yeah.
That's when you get all the answers. All right,
Be
everybody
like
got an
me,
answer?
Kids.
I'm right if there's nobody to tell me I'm wrong.
All right, Brittney, what'd you say?
I said 9.
9.
I said 15.
15.
I actually said 9.
9. Okay.
Shit's weak.
Here's the thing.
Dude.
How many aliases was he known to have had?
Here's the thing.
Let's talk about a tie game because Jeff nailed it.
Damn.
Tell me why I was going to choose 15, but I was like, nah, that's too close to 16.
So 1,000.
Because he's got that Dennis Rodman defense.
Dude, we
He's in
kind of
your
called
head.
this out in the beginning,
This is
right?
a tie.
This
We're
is
running
the tie.
it up right now.
Wait, we got 2 more questions, actually.
2 more
And
questions
I think one of
here,
them is
and-
a different story question.
Super
probably.
litty
And
on my
that is incorrect. There is no different story here tonight. I knew this was going to be a long one, as that's what's happening here. So we no separate story. So that's usually because I don't have enough to where I feel like I would get the length from an episode that I would like. This story was
stretch episodes.
I listen
quite
to this
full.
podcast every day that it comes out, and you had the audacity to not. I'm cool with that. Actually, that's cool. That's cool. I feel
Thank
it.
you.
I
Thank
feel
you.
it. No, I feel it, dude.
I
It's
got
just-
it. The question
Just start
spot on
giving
with the
$1,000 a month on the Patreon.
Bro, if I could, I freaking would so much. Like, you don't understand. I would support you guys.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Appreciate that.
If I can get other people to do it.
Okay, so no one is technically out of this yet. You still, I mean,
You could get one
listen,
spot on still.
There's not a huge chance, but there is a chance, okay?
Like that kickflip today. You tried like hella times and you landed it.
No.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
So,
Very good way to bring her in on a point of interest.
Yep. Okay, so let's talk about Richard Martin,
guy. I love this
Richard Martin Clark, Richard Harris, Richard Mark Clark, Richard Lee Grady, Richard Lee Price, Earl A.L. Kaleboff, Albert Ayer, Charles Marvin Tidwell, Hobart Prater, Ronald Springer, Doris Mullins, Carl L. Kelbo, Albert Ralph Price, Doris Mullins Travis, and Dwayne Lee Wilfong.
Damn.
He also had access and use of 6 Social Security numbers during his career.
I didn't hear no Tyrones though. Like, what's that about?
After he couldn't pull it off.
Didn't look like a Celtic Irishman. I didn't know.
June 6th, 1983, after Hatcher's cell was searched by impatient officers still waiting for his confessions, he told Holstag that he had flushed his diary of all the murders. June 20th of 1983, the attorneys Doms and Morey have obtained a change of venue in Hatcher's trial, and the date was set for August 20th, 1983. July 25th, 1983, Hatcher finally wrote a detailed account containing evidence no one else would know about in the Christian case. Holstag received this letter on the 27th of July. And on August 3rd, 1983, Hatcher confessed to the murder of James Churchill in 1981, William Freeman in 1969. During the same interview, he was questioned by other detectives about killing Eric Christian. By the end of his interview, Hatcher had filled out a timeline of his career from October 27th, 1947, arrest for auto theft, to July 29th, 1982, which is arrest for the Michele Steele murder. So he just laid it all out so I could just take that and make it this podcast.
Dang.
September 1st, 1980.
Easy work.
So
Easy.
listen, I have a hard time remembering what the fuck I did yesterday.
It's true.
And this guy has had mind-altering, impulse-suppressing drugs put into him from various quote-unquote mental institutions over the last
dude.
2 decades.
Weird.
So for him to give an accurate recount of everything that happened from 1945 until 1983 is just fucking like that's 38 years of stuff that he was able to just.
But you could think about this one. What if he didn't take the pills and he's just acting everything out the whole time?
Either way, there are fucked up serial killers that remember so many details.
No, I know.
Like
I know.
That literally just recall with like.
Can I just ask, Heather Greg, one thing?
Yes.
You can't remember what you did yesterday, but did you murder someone yesterday?
Oh,
I don't know.
That might be a pretty memorable experience.
I feel like if you murder people, you remember it, regardless. Like somebody's like drugs, LSD, other things. Like at the end, you're still like, I fucking stabbed that guy in the face.
Yeah, no, I totally remember my knife getting stuck in the bone.
I threw that 11-year-old
in
a pool and then jumped on top of him.
I made my brother hold a
it's like we'll
copper
think about this
wire
like
and
this.
hit an electrical wire.
Greg doesn't remember anything from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We're establishing that. It's
He
facts
could be a
now.
werewolf.
But he can remember a bunch of stuff from Simpsons, like from the beginning season. So it's like
different synapses, my friend.
I'm just saying it could happen. It can happen like that.
No, you got a good point. Excellent point, Bobby.
There you go.
And Jeff.
First time for everything.
Oh.
September 1st, 1983.
I'm getting serial killed, and I'm not chilling.
The grand jury met, and here, Bobby.
Warm heart.
From now on, Bobby answers first. Go.
No, I don't want
The grand jury met and felt that they had heard enough evidence to indict Hatcher on capital murder charges for Michele Steele. September 6, 1983, Hatcher was indicted by the Buchanan County grand jury on capital murder and was arraigned the following day, September 12th, 1983, when he pleaded not guilty, and another trial was set for January 9th, 1984.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, he wants to be killed, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I think you're having a little doubts now. You already admitted to all of it. I know.
I'm going to go ahead and mention Greg's amazing core strength, by the way, because he keeps springing up from like a full-on layout. I'm just saying.
Hey, there you go, Greg.
Core is strong, buddy.
Congrats on the core strength.
Brain strong, core
just
strong.
I'm intense.
Third eye open. Let's rock and roll, buddy.
Ooh.
So, yes, he pleads not guilty, to which everybody believes is an asshole move.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He is sentenced to life in prison in Missouri State Penitentiary for the murder of Eric Christian. Melvin Reynolds, the man currently serving time for the crime, was released the following day. January 9th, 1984, the trial for Michele Steele was about to start, but Hatcher's attorney, Doms, had enough of his client's abuse and dropped the case completely, which had the case to be moved September 17th, 1984. The trial and new attorney moved to the Warrenburg, Kansas court. The trial lasted 5 days, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. each day. A jury of 8 men and 4 women were picked on the first day. September 22nd of 1984, Hatcher was convicted of capital murder in the case of Michele Steele. Question number 17. Once again, he will be sentenced to 25 to 50 years, life with possible parole in 50 years, life with no possibility of parole, or D, the death sentence. Do they give him
What are you gonna say, Bobby?
You know what? We'll say it at the same time, okay, dude?
Yeah,
I don't want to get the same
I
thing.
want you guys to write them down.
I'm hiding.
Keep it classy here.
I already did it.
Brittney already wrote hers down.
I already did it.
Bobby wrote his down.
Going to crush.
Wow, I need a pen. This one is not writing. Nah, I guess, man. Like, I'm so sad, I guess.
So very
Hello.
Look at the wrist.
All right, so Jeff said D, the death sentence. Bobby said
I said D too. I think
the death sentence. Brittany?
D.
The death sentence.
D's on the table everywhere, huh?
It took the jury less than 1 hour to return and recommend Hatcher be sentenced to life without the possibility of probation or parole for 50 years. So B is the correct answer.
What?
Life with parole possible in 50 years. However, let's point out he is 55.
Yeah.
So his first possibility of parole would be at 100.
I just, he made the deal like, hey, I'll tell you these things.
I thought because he gets so lucky, he would get what he wanted.
I feel like you'd stick it to him at that point. Because you can't
he
kill a
asked
mentally
for
insane person.
Yeah,
He's 100% like, if
I don't know why not.
I don't know why
Did you see
not.
that one?
Yeah.
The way he got up so well.
I don't know if we should go there.
Let's
I mean,
not
well, like
do the
that's
cabinet
assuming that this
punishment
guy's actually
conversation.
mentally unstable. I mean, maybe he's just an asshole.
Yeah. I think he's a perpetual and
Oh yeah, that's
like
right.
I don't think he
he's
can.
crazy.
I don't think he
I
can
forgot.
help but be the way he is. I'm not. It's not an excuse. Again, I just think that he may have been faking it, but I think there's a lot of
Like
traits within him that are definitely very similar to. I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know. Maybe he was just a prick faking it the whole fucking time. Either way,
I don't like a lot of stuff, and I don't murder.
Either way, this is in.
True.
Remember, this
See?
is in California, fairly progressive state. It's 1984, so is Reagan in at this point? They're like,
The White
Who's
House.
the governor?
yeah. Well, either way, Reagan's got a fucking hand in this federally, or so. Listen, he's 55 years old. He's had how many mental evaluations that have said no, he's fucking crazy, and he's had how many that have said nah, he's not, like the last two. And every other one throughout the entire time they've been, this guy's a fucking nutbag.
Yeah.
So like a state doesn't, in my opinion, put someone like that to death. That's just.
Well, they did.
You know what?
Yeah, no,
I get
I'm
that
saying-
now because now I get like if he asked to die, then he's like, okay, this guy obviously is crazy because he just wants to be dead.
Or he feels guilty and he really does just want to die. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. I'm not inside his head. But
Maybe he wants the demons to stop telling him to sacrifice the maidens.
I think the state is not. I think the state's not willing to let him dictate how it's going to go.
Real. I get that.
Not up to them, is it?
So
Just have to get into the crawl space again.
it took the jury less than an hour to return with the blah 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 blah. November of 1984, Holstag met with Hatcher for the last time in the penitentiary interview room. His trial was done, and there was nothing more the Holstag would need from him. December 3rd, 1984, Hatcher appeared before the court again on a motion for a new trial, but the motion was denied. Question number 18.
This is the last one.
Can I know the points? right
No,
It is a tie
now? Okay.
between
you don't get a receipt before your transaction, bud.
Bobby and Jeff at 2750.
This is America.
Brittney has 1,000 and can no longer win. I'm sorry.
Hey, you did great though. I
We'll
really
get you a consolation prize
Yeah.
on the way.
You
out.
made it to 1,000.
You did.
Yeah.
Not a
Some
lot of
people
do.
don't.
People
do that.
don't do that. That is very true.
There are a lot of dumb people that have been on the show.
Name them, please.
I can't. That would be rude. But if they want to infer it themselves, that's fine.
But if I was going to name them, it would be
The music comes off of the break.
Okay, and here's the deal. This last question is not going to be multiple choice. Therefore, there will be only one winner.
giving me a hard
However, Brittney can still win this question. While she cannot win the game, she can ruin one of you guys from winning outright, putting it at a 27-50 tie and sending it to Hella Greg for a Hella tiebreaker. So, Brittney, you can be a giant killer in a way where if you beat both of these fellers here,
Fellers.
you will send them to a tiebreaker, which just really is going to be whatever the fuck Greg wants them to do.
All right.
So it's kind of like
why are
he's
you
kind of
taking
like
it so
I'll tell you what,
seriously?
if they
She's
tie,
looking at
I'll
me
even
like-
let you help me pick it so we can pick
Oh
some
my
Alright.
gosh, that's the first.
There
That's
you
literally
go.
the first.
There you
Look
go.
at that. She didn't even know she was coming here.
Oh my.
Question number 18. In what year
No, please.
will Charles Ray Hatcher die?
Oh, this is the. I knew it. I was already doing math.
What year
He
are we
was
in
sentenced to the death, or to the
So
life,
the
or to
life.
the
Uh-huh.
fate without parole in 1984.
Uh-huh.
What year will he
1984.
die? All right, do we have answers, everybody?
Sorry, he tied in.
The freaking cage, bro.
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Jeff's ready. Okay, first, let's go with Brittney.
Yeah, let's go
Possible
Brittney.
giant killer. What do you
Oh
say,
my
Brittney?
gosh.
1998.
1998. Jeff.
1993.
1990.
That looks like 43, but it's 93.
93.
Still alive.
Still alive. What'd you say again?
98.
98, 93. Still alive. Congratulations, Jeff. Because on December 7th, 1984, on a clear and cold morning, officers found their routine schedule and shined a flashlight in Hatcher's cell and found that he had hanged himself. He was
See?
hanging by a piece of electrical
Damn.
wire that had been tied to the brace of a heavy metal ventilation grate in his cell.
please say it
The
was
knot
copper.
in a wire was located beneath his right ear. Hatcher's hands had been tied behind his own back with a piece of shoelace, and the officers tried to revive him, but by the time they found him, he was already dead.
4, dude.
So
I told you I'm gonna cry,
brother,
bro.
And
So.
then it killed him.
Can I get some tissues?
No.
All right, then
I am
I'm
undefeated.
You know what? Honestly, that was a great, amazing game. You're awesome. That was
I
sick.
told you that it would continue, and you begged to differ.
So,
damn it, the
final
London.
scores across the board. Brittney had 1,000 points. Bobby had 2,750, which is an amazing score.
That is an amazing score.
However,
Don't pat me on
Jeff
the back.
slides in. Both you guys nailing a 1,000 point question, by the way.
That was sick. That was
Back
so
to
sick.
back,
It was
bro.
like a.
You got
anime
16,
fight.
I got 15. Question,
Boom.
bang, bang.
Bada boom. Bada
Jeff
bing, bing.
wins it with 3,000
Dude,
points.
good.
Man.
So let me finish up a little bit here. We got
like
a
Iverson right
little
now.
bit
Yeah, it was
more.
really good, actually. I really appreciate that.
Except I win. You know what I mean?
4 days after his hanging death, a group of volunteers carried a fiberboard box containing Hatcher's remains to the prison cemetery to be buried in an unmarked grave.
Good.
His only surviving family member, his brother, and only known member of any part of his only kin, refused to have anything to do with Hatcher during his incarceration and in his death.
Nephilim, bro.
So that's it, guys. That is fucking
gosh.
everything. I know. So let's go around the horn here.
Yep.
Jeff, you are the winner. You may take. You know what? You want to go last or you want to go first?
I'll
tell
go
you that.
last, sure.
Okay, Bobby. What do you throw it out there? What do you want? How do the people find you? Tell them what they want. What they should do.
You should definitely check out Instagram and I've like I said before, TikTok. If that's gonna be put in it or not. At _B3R_. Everything else is connected, and I definitely post on it a lot. So check it out.
Talk about Specker because we
Okay.
bleeped you
Aw,
the
thank you.
last
All
time.
right,
we were
thank
just
you.
kidding, man.
It's cool, man.
Sorry.
I'm not tripping. I actually really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I love the bleeps. I don't care what it's about.
This time we want you to actually talk about the
All right,
brand
well,
you represent.
Check it out. I'm from a brand called Specker. We're a CBD company that uses vegan, non-GMOs, no synthetics, all plant-based ingredients, and actually some of our drops are keto and vegan. So it's really awesome. We're just trying to like spread some good healing with CBD and essential oils to like heal the world and get you out those bullshit ass like prescription drugs and all that good stuff too.
There you go.
Parents are taking it, kids are taking it, dogs are taking it because guess what? It really does help, and there's no THC, so it's all good. It's an amazing place. It's like a full spectrum lifestyle. We have skaters like Brittney on our team, and we also have like actors and film, like flippers and photographers on it, and it's really, really cool. And I'm gonna bring you guys some, and I wanted to give you some for Greg so you can send it to him because I'm sorry, I
Perfect. Yeah, no worries.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'll come back later tonight.
We've got a
tomorrow.
halfway point meetup too in a secret location. So
Ooh,
Say,
perfect.
just drop it down the chute to the bunker.
Check it at Specker SPEKR and on Instagram, and you'll be linked. So thank you so much, dude. That was dope.
yeah, absolutely. Brittney.
All right, so I just want to start off by saying you can follow me on Instagram at your local poser skater, all one word. Check out my skate clips. I'm on Specker as well,
Yep.
as well as Pathwater.
Yeah. That's
It's about
the team.
recycling out
Yeah,
here,
hell yeah. Good shit. Green shit.
Changing the world.
changing
yeah.
the world.
We talk about murderers.
I love it.
All right, perfect. All right, we're changing it too.
You know what's funny is that while I'm doing like Specker work, I'm listening to your podcast.
We're intertwined. Okay. Taking his victory lap.
Get it. The man.
Undefeated, according to him, because I don't keep record of anything like that. 3,000 points, the champion. What do you got to say, Jeff?
It was good to have me here. I really like winning. Everybody was so nice. You don't need to follow me on anything because I don't post nothing. I accidentally posted a black square and then pretended like I did it on purpose.
For Black History Month?
It
And
was like
then,
41 likes. All
yeah.
right.
And so, but no, it's
Alright,
always fun
look
to
it
be
up.
here and shoot the shit with people, especially Jesse and Hello Greg, and then new friends, obviously.
Yep.
But no, it's always good to win. So
Yeah.
I mean, really, at the end of the day.
yeah, I mean, I knew when I came in the door I was gonna win, but I
Yeah.
just felt like I'd give you guys the runaround.
I kind of feel like this is a shake and bake thing where like I'm just gonna help you shake and bake, but I'll still be second.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, what if
Slingshot pass
like,
engaged,
next time
buddy.
I can win.
Well, like, but if you win,
Yeah,
then how am I going to win?
exactly.
True.
Good shit, guys.
Love it.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Jeff.
dude. I'm clapping.
guys.
Is that okay to
Yeah,
clap on the
yeah.
audio?
Hello, Greg. What do you want to end on there, my good friend?
I got nothing.
At Hella Greg on all your favorite social medias. Remember, you guys, if you can, go out and rate and review the show. Follow us.
Do it.
Tell your weird friends who will also listen with us weirdos. Help a couple guys make it a podcast dreams come true. That's what we're really out here trying to do. Make this shit life. And hey, don't talk to strangers.
Unless it's
This has been another presentation from Super Network.